be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Hallelujah. Father Yahweh, we come before you ever so humbly on this beautiful seventh day Shabbat as the body of your son, Yahshua HaMashiach, giving Todah and Hosannas unto your Kodesh name for breathing the breath of life into each and every one of our vessels and for standing us up upon our feet today, Abba Yahweh. We Todah you for allowing us to be able to gather in your bayat and to sing praises unto you, Father. We Todah you for the things in which you've given each and every one of us, such as food, clothing, and shelter. We Todah you for your protection from all manners of hurt, harm, and danger, that which was seen by us as well as that which was unknown by us. But we nevertheless Todah you for protection from all of it. And we ask at this very hour, Father Yahweh, that you continually rain down from your throne all the things in which we stand in need of, Father Yahweh. And we ask of you at this very hour that you look down from your heavenly abode upon those in Yisrael who may be sick with the seasonal ailments of this time of the year, Father Yahweh. We ask that you place your hand upon your people who grapple with colds, flus, pneumonia, sinus infections, those who may grapple with COVID-19 and any other bodily ailments such as high blood pressure, hypertension, and any other fiery darts that Hashatan throws at our fleshly vessels, Abba Yahweh. We ask that in our time of affliction, no matter how severe or how minute the affliction may be, we ask that you allow Shaitan to not weaken our faith in you. No matter how much he may weaken our bodies, we ask that you allow him to not weaken our faith and trust in you, Father Yahweh. And we ask of you that no matter what, we ask that you please continually keep us wrapped in the hollow of your hand and give us a mind to hold on to your unchanging hand in spite of all our trials and all of the obstacles that are thrown our way. We ask of you also that even at this very time, you remember those in Israel who may be in hospitals, those who may be unconscious, unable to offer up prayers for themselves. We ask that you hear the prayers of your saints being made on their behalf, Father Yahweh. We ask of you that you please continually allow each and every trial that befalls us to not weaken us or to bust us down in faith, but instead allow every trial to serve to strengthen us and further fortify our relationship in you, Father Yahweh. We ask also that at this very hour that you look down from your heavenly abode upon those who trouble Israel, those who desire evil to fall upon Israel, those who seek to bring about the demise of your people. We ask that you trouble them in every evil thought and desire in their hearts. We ask that you turn it around, Father Yahweh. Let it not fall upon your people, but instead send it backwards in the direction of those who desire that thing, Father Yahweh. And we ask that you, when you allow it to return upon the evil, we ask that you allow it to go back, magnify it. We ask that you multiply it tenfold, Father Yahweh. We ask that you break the weapons of the wicked. We ask that you pull down all of their strongholds and trample under your feet everything in which they look to draw power and strength from, Father Yahweh. And we ask that you make the whole world in the day that you see fit to have to bend and bow before your son, Yahshua HaMashiach, and make the whole world to have to recognize your name, the name of your son, Yahshua HaMashiach, and this wonderful way of life in which you've given to your people, Yisrael. And we ask that in these latter days that you remove far from your people, the children of Israel, not just sicknesses, germs, and illnesses of the body, but also remove far from us every work that's unacceptable in your sight: hypocrisy, falsehood, doubt, skepticism, disbelief, fraudulence, and anything else, Father Yahweh, that would tarnish our garments before you. And we ask that you please cleanse us and remove those things from us and replace those things with a mind to diligently seek after your Ruach HaKodesh and to be filled with the fruits of your Ruach. Father Yahweh, we ask that at the end of our days, you allow us to have done everything in which we can in our power to be found favorable and honorable and acceptable before you, and grant us a space and an entryway into your kingdom, Father. These blessings we ask of you ever so humbly in the name of Yahshua the Messiah we pray. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Dear family, you can feel free to take your seats. Giving all honor and praise unto Almighty Yahweh and His Son Yahshua the Messiah for allowing all of us to be able to gather here in His Bayat and to breathe His Kodesh name in prayer one more time. I want to open this portion of our Shabbat observance reading from the book of Yeshayah, a portion of Isaiah chapter 3. Behold, Yahweh, Yahweh of Sabaoth, or Yahweh of hosts, does take away from Jerusalem and from Yehudah the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water, the mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet and the prudent and the ancient, the captain of 50, and the honorable man, and the counselor, and the cunning artificer, and the eloquent orator. And I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them. And the people shall be oppressed, every one by another, and every one by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honorable. When a man shall take hold of his brother of the house of his father, saying, You have clothing, be thou our ruler, and let this ruin be under your hand. In that day shall he swear, saying, I'll not be an healer, for in my house is neither bread nor clothing. Make me not a ruler of the people. For Jerusalem is ruined, and Yehudah is fallen, because their tongue and their doings are against Yahweh, to provoke the eyes of his glory. And the show of their countenance doth testify against them, and they declare their sin as Sodom, and they hide it not. Woe unto their soul, for they have rewarded evil unto themselves. Say ye to the Tzedekah, that it shall be well with him, for they shall eat the fruit of their doings. But woe unto the wicked, for it shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hand shall be given unto him. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead you cause you to err and destroy the way of your paths. Yahweh stands up to plead, and he stands to judge the people. Yahweh will enter into judgment with the ancients of his people and the princes thereof, for you've eaten up the vineyard, and the spoil of the poor is in your houses. What mean ye that you beat my people to pieces and grind the faces of the poor, saith Yahweh of hosts? And moreover, Yahweh says, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet, therefore Yahweh will smite with the scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and Yahweh will discover their secret parts. In that day, Yahweh will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their calls, and their round tires like the moon, the chains and the bracelets, and the mufflers, the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs, and the headbands, and the tablets and the earrings, the rings and the nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel, and the mantles, and the wimples, and the crisping pins, the glasses, and the fine linen, and the hoods, and the veils. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink, and instead of a girdle and a rent, instead of well set hair, baldness, and instead of a stomacher, a girdling of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty. Your men shall fall by the sword, and your mighty men in war. And her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. Yisrael, in these latter days, if we do nothing else, let us cling, hold fast, let us steadfastly hold on to Almighty Yahweh's unchanging hand, and while simultaneously gripping Almighty Yahweh's unchanging hand, let us loosen our grip on any works and any activities that may displease Almighty Yahweh and that may disqualify us from obtaining the salvation in which we profess to seek after. Yisrael, at this time I present to you Zakane Dawid Ben Yachanan Sr. Let us receive him by rendering unto Almighty Yahweh's holy name the highest form of praise, which is hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Shalom, Yisrael. Truly, we do give Almighty Yahweh and his son, Yahshua HaMashiach, all the honor and the praise that is due unto that most Kodesh name. We do realize here in this particular part of the world, as the course of this earth begins to draw down upon its close, we simply total Yah for the gift of life, our health and strength, even in these last days. The slightness of the activity of our limbs and all that we as a people have gone through, we still total Yah for the greatness of that gift of life. We are realizing that this thing is truly winding up. And in sticking to the beauty of Yah's word, we simply seek to admonish the children of Israel to stand in the way and see, and to ask for the old path. One thing about life that I have to give the Gentile world credit for to a degree is the ability to consider. You may not consider in righteousness, but the ability to consider where they stand in the world, so to Yah, is truly fascinating. It is fascinating to see a people formulate a political or social analysis of where we are in the world, seeing certain doom and destruction looming in the earth, not being able to do anything to stop it, and yet not being able to repent and turn to Almighty Yahweh. One of the things we as the people of Yahweh do not want to do, knowing the danger that we face and what is against our souls, is to proclaim the word of Yahweh and not walk in it. We don't want to proclaim this or just have knowledge of this way of life and not walk in it. We're in trouble if we just know of Yahweh. We're in trouble if we just know of the commandments. We're in trouble if we just know who we are and will not obey. Knowing and not doing are two different things. We want to both know, believe, and keep his commandments. Yah told Yisrael, keep my commandments and live. He's not just talking about living in this lifetime. He's talking about living, period, with him throughout all eternity. This way of life is well worth it. It is far above just mere publicizing that we are the Jews. I don't even use that term. I don't even use it. I was taught that from a child. We did not use the term. We have to know who we are. And the beauty of Yahweh's word is that there's nothing, let me say that one real slow. There's nothing in the earth that has happened or ever will happen that's not already recorded in the word. That's what makes it so beautiful. Sometimes it has to be pulled out and shown unto us. But there's nothing. There was a case in the scriptures where the children of Israel were removed from their land. And another nation of people were brought in who couldn't speak the language of the land. It's in the book. And the land began to spew them out. Even the land itself began to rebel against its new inhabitants, so that the impostors had to import Yahweh's people into the land to show them how to live on it. It's in the book. So we get imported back home. Imagine that. By people who say they are Yahweh's people, won't keep a single commandment. This is where I get angry with my people. And I have a right to get angry with them. I'm not going to sin because I'm angry with them, but I have a right to get angry. Because if Yahweh commands us to do a thing, we want to do it the way that Yah says do it. Scripture says that every word of Yahweh is pure. It says every word. If he is your creator, he is the almighty maker of us all, then it's incumbent upon us to listen carefully to every word that he would speak. He says to us, I am Yahweh and I change not. So he doesn't change. He said he chose his people, a royal priesthood. He says he rose up early, sending unto us messengers. He sent prophets unto us. I got quite a few versions of scripture. I look through them all. I read them carefully, but obviously I don't have the right one. Think about that, though. I can't possibly have the right one. Because I don't have that one where he said he was going to send you rappers or sports figures or comedians to show you the way. So I'm going to go look for that version, see what it says. Because see, we as a people, we won't listen to the Nabi of Yah. We will not listen to the Kohanim. Let's put all the Hebraic words out there, just to mess with the opponents. We won't listen. But somebody come up rapping and we all want to hear it. In fact, here's a good one for you. Foolish men in Yisrael, they want to be rappers. That's a good one for you. Brothers in there, they rapping. I don't get it. So what do? Dribble the word of Yahweh down the street? What do we do? Stand-up comedy to get the word of Yahweh across? He said the old way. That we had to hide in several instances. And in the presence of specific kings, they mocked him. Because then Yahshua came along and he had to live out what David lived out. He did say that in their feasts with hypocritical mockers, they mocked me. I don't think we understand that. See, on a deck of cards, there's the joker. He was the fool. He was the buffoon. He was the clown. He was the atheist that did not believe in the Almighty. And when the king was bored and needed entertainment, they brought out the town gesture, the atheist, the clown. Today's comedian, the comic relief. See, we don't know our history. We like to Google everything. This may sound arrogant, but I don't even care. I always shut people down who bring me Google information. Don't bring me nothing you found off Google. Don't do it. You know why? Because the archaeologists, when they go digging, they don't go to no plant, to no assembly line, and wait for whatever they're looking for to come off the assembly line. That's modern. That's new to them. They're not looking for that. They're digging. They're going for the artifacts, the older evidence. Am I correct? Why would the people that lied to you historically now create this one machine where all the truth in the world is at the touch of a button? And you go there believing it. And then they give it to you in the stupidest word in the history of stupid words, Google. And you walk away intellectually thinking you got something. See, I don't know if I'm the only shepherd in the history of Yisrael that says it or not. I don't give a damn. I got evidence. Don't mess with me. I don't trust none of them alphabet agencies. I don't trust none of them government, all that stuff. When we come to the name of Yahweh, you got to renounce all that other stuff. Just like an alcoholic got to give up alcohol, drug addict got to give up his addiction to drugs. All that stuff we've had with them in this Gentile world. When you come to the knowledge of Yahweh, that's the past. The Apostle Shaul say, I count it as dung. It means nothing. Yeah, we may have the experiences of it and understand, we may have learned from it, what have you. But we can't uphold it like it has validity if it's all structured and is anti-Yahweh. We got to come out of it completely. You hear what I'm saying? This is why we are suffering the way we're suffering. See, don't nobody want to get caught saying that one thing that needs to be said and don't nobody want to hear it because everybody going to jump on. We're not looking. The Gentiles analyze everything. They analyze stuff so deep, they draw conclusions and then quietly change their mind behind closed doors and don't tell you nothing. They'll draw a conclusion real quick. You know what? This Yahweh, he does exist. And according to all the evidence, we're about to get it. And they'll go repent, start trying to live right. And won't announce a blessed thing to you. They'll just quietly try to obey, trying to save their hide. Then there's the other group. The group that everybody want to fight, but yet don't know how to fight. If you can't fight, put your fist down. It's the best thing, put your fist down. See, there's a group of people. This is the funniest thing I ever seen in the history of the world. I'm going to tell y'all this title in a minute. And don't be laughing either. This is the funniest thing in the history of the world. There's a group of people, that, if studied, will tell you that they're atheists. And they tell you they're chosen people. Think about that for a minute. He doesn't exist. So you say. Then you turn right around and you say, you're the chosen people. Well, doesn't the concept of a chosen people come about as a result of the one who exists deciding that there's a specific people I want to talk to? I want to show them something. And I want them to do something so that they can then become the example for all the other nations to live by. You say he don't exist and you chose. That's dumb. And then we go out and pick a fight with him and can't fight him. You understand? It's crazy. See, if I pick a fight with you and I can't beat you, okay, that's different. But I'm fighting. Might get beat, but they'll say, okay, he was fighting. But when you pick a fight with him and then you can't fight him, you should have stayed home. And here we are as a people, everybody running around. I stand with Kanye and Kyrie. Okay. But you're standing with confusion. I'm not knocking the brothers, I'm just telling the truth. Let me see if I got this straight. Now watch this. You over here with all this mouth. Yeah! I'll kill you. I'm tough. Shut up, punk, before I take your job from you. Okay, I apologize. I'm sorry. And then it's you and me. We over here in the middle. Talking about, I side with him. Which side? The Chihuahua side that was barking? Or the don't bust my head and take my life and my money side that's biting? Are you hearing me? I ain't picking this topic because this topic is trending. I'm picking this topic because it needs to be said. And anybody on this channel at any given time, you want to share this message, put it on your Facebook page or whatsoever, feel free to do it. This is the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to put a phone number out there. 443 326 2565. I'm going to tell y'all why y'all need to share. Because Kanye need to hear it and Kyrie need to hear it. See, if you're not men of the priesthood and you jump out there trying to tell it, it's one thing to tell it. Okay, that's understandable. But when you put yourself in a predicament where you get put in the national spotlight and then bring shame and embarrassment to the house of Yisrael because you could not finish the sentence, you should have shut up. We have over 800 messages on the channel. If we just break it down, say a third of them are mine, a third of the ministers, and a third of the deacons, we stand in account for all 800, some of them. And there's not one message that anybody, anywhere, will ever get an apology for. Damn you. If it's the truth and we said it, we standing on it. You're not going to make us back up off of the truth. Nah. Minister stood up here and read the scripture. I was like, look at him. There you go. Testimony of Yahweh. Because he went in there and pulled a piece of my message today. I was like, you know, we can tell when it's going to be a hot one. Because him or Deacon will always do that. And I think it's funny. Because I went through that 35 and 40 years ago with Elder Johnson. Run the service, do the prayer, read the scripture. He get up and say, yeah, he had part of my message. Yeah, he read that. Y'all would give us confirmation before I get started. So I take it as such. Because there are things that have to be said. You want to share something? Share this. This ain't putting me out there now as some great messenger. You're just hearing a voice. You can listen to the video. Don't even look at it. That way you can't say, this is what Elder John said. Let's take it out of the word. I'm just an instrument today. I'm a shofar blowing. People say, we're waking up. We're waking up. Last week, I just asked, if we're waking up and not walking in the old path, what good is waking up? Right? What good is waking up when Yahweh commanded us to walk in the old path? And then we get lied to in such ways. I want y'all to test this out when tax season rolls around. Somebody try this and come back and let me know how you made out. Add up your annual salary. And then 10 times that amount. Declare that on your taxes. Because that's how much money you say you are. Okay? Do the Kanye thing. Do the Forbes billionaire thing. This is how it works. And Yisrael needs to understand it. Stop being fascinated. The man is not a billionaire. Let's get this straight. See, if you're a billionaire, this is money, cash, property you have on hand. This ain't something somebody can say, hey, shut up, chump. And all of a sudden, now you don't have it. When you got deals and endorsements that are worth this amount, that you have to meet this sales quota for 8 to 10 years, you don't have that. That's projected earnings. That don't make you a billionaire. Come on, man. Donald Trump pulled that one on everybody. But we are rich in Yahweh. And it is already declared by he who cannot lie. So then we keep living poorly. Think of what I'm saying. You are living poor when you won't obey. You're living poor when you know who you are, but won't advocate the fullness of the Torah. That's poverty. That's poor. We are rich. He said, I go to prepare a place for you. Pardon me. That where I am, you may be also. But he also says something profoundly interesting. How many of us have ever lived in any type of raggedy housing? Not to shame us, but you ever lived in something just so raggedy you really didn't even want to talk about it? Or now that you've gotten away from that, you over it, you don't even really want to think about it? You know, you lived through it, so don't act like it ain't happened. You done been through it. Right? You lived in a one-room shack. You know, you couldn't even close the window because there was no window to close, but there was a window there. You know, stuff like that, right? You know, you shared this one-room apartment with the flies and the roaches and a rat or two or whatever. You know, you paying the rent for all these other tenants that you never really get to talk to or meet. You understand? You know, they walk around like they just paid the mortgage. That type of poor. But here he also said, in my Father's house are many mansions. Not many mansions like where I live at is you go down the street, cut a left or cut a right, and there's these many mansions. These is the folks that's got a little bit of money. Probably a little bit more than me and you. But then they got these houses. They look like we call them mini mansions because they do look like a mansion. It's nice. It's huge, but it's nothing in compared to somebody with billions. Okay. So look, the socioeconomic status ain't that great. Well, ain't that much of a big gap if we in the same pretty much proximity. You got to understand stuff like that. Now, there is the exception to the rule because you do have millionaires, you do have billionaires that will have money and go live somewhere real smooth and quiet and be low key. So don't underestimate it. But I'm saying the essentials of it. I had a neighbor like that. He think he all this and that. He just always do that. And one day I shot that out there at him. I said, well, one thing about this neighborhood right here, I said, I watch different people and their uppity attitudes and their butt cheeks are up here by their neck. You know, and he looked at, I get graphic with people sometimes because the shock therapy of the analysis, when they think about what you said, they be like, I never thought about it that way, but that's true. So anyway, you know how people get all high, butt up on their back. Anyway, you know, I'd love to see them sit down. But anyway, so I said to him, truth be told, most of us, if we live in the same proximity, in the same areas or whatever the case may be, more often than not, we're all within the same socioeconomic status. I said, give or take a plus or minus here or there. You can pretty much gauge the general income area. Because if not, a lot of times people will move out, move away, do better if they can afford to do better. You hear what I'm saying? Okay. our poverty in this lifetime, and I ain't talking silver, gold, financial riches, I'm talking about the everlasting riches of Yahweh, came with the keeping of the commandments. See, that's what makes the neighbor hate you. That's what makes the person in the cubicle next to you hate you, because the wealth of Yahshua is upon you in such a way you scrambling and struggling like they are, trying to figure out, all right, when I get this check, if there's anything left over, after I pay all the bills, I might be able to eat. That type of stuff. But you're so imbued with the presence of Yahweh. They hate it. And here you ain't got nothing earthly. So we arguing with people. I want to do a comparative analysis in this message today of the children of Yisrael with the Jews. I'm going to lay something out real quick. I want y'all to think about this. Any white person on the channel listening to this message, carefully consider what I'm about to say. If any of you Jewish people, look, I don't debate with y'all. Truth be told, let's be real. Okay, let's put this one out. A lot of times I don't even pay y'all no mind. I can walk the street anywhere, see a Jewish person, what have you. Somebody sent me a soundbite. Let me see if I can squeeze this soundbite in. You got to hear this person confessing something. But anyway, I can walk past them just like I walk past a lamppost. Lamppost is not going to say, "Shalom, Brother David, how you doing?" It ain't going to speak to me, but it's there. Okay, you're saying you're Jewish. That's cool. I don't owe you no special homage or anything in that nature. So if by chance you say, "That's a nice looking shirt," and I say, "Yeah, whoever buy it, it's a nice looking shirt. I wouldn't buy it. I don't like it myself." That don't mean I'm against you. Don't come that anti-Semitism stuff. It's a ruse. It's a guise to shut you up whenever you disagree with them. And this is how we know it's a ruse. Because the slickest thing you can do is throw it out there, say it, and then don't even respond to the person you accusing of being anti-Semitic. You understand? If a wife accuses her husband of having an affair, she ain't going to let the issue go. She's going to throw out the evidence. "I saw you coming out of Sheila's house. I found the phone number in your pocket. I seen the love letter." She's going to lay the evidence out. Now, you accuse people of something, and then you don't argue with them no more, because the accusation is a neon sign on them. It's just glowing so bright they can't see, and nobody looking at them can see, because now the label of anti-Semitic is on them. Slickest trick that could be pulled off. Think about it, because they never say nothing else. You call our brothers. "How can I be anti-Semitic? Because I know who I am." I'm like, okay, what the hell kind of point in the argument was that? See, it was inconclusive. See, there is a book entitled "How the Hebrew Language Grew." And in reading the book, they make an interesting assessment about languages. And they go into the Semitic languages and how different languages go out, Indo versus Shemitic and all this. They get a real interesting discussion how the European got a lot of their language that they borrowed from the countries from the Far East. See, them caveman stories, I don't give a damn if they get mad. That was language to them. So then you started picking up stuff from people from the Far East. This is where you get those Indo-Aryan nations from. You must understand that. But when you start talking the Semitic languages and everything, there is a difference between Shem and Sim. You have to understand that, because the play on words gets so confusing. People who emerge to speak, but only know a small percentage of the truth, end up contributing a very large percentage of confusion to the masses who know even less than they do. You hear me? See, Kyrie and them ain't never stood up and said, "Yahweh is king. Yahshua is his son. And we are his children that have been scattered throughout the face of this earth. This is why I'm standing and saying what I'm saying." Don't just come up, "We the Jews." That's inconclusive. If I come home from work and my wife say, "You hungry?" and I say, that's inconclusive. Okay, I'm thinking. Usually denotes thinking, right? Are you hungry? I cannot be hungry because I know who I am. What does that even mean? See, this is people that Yahweh didn't qualify to present this story because you're in the midst of an argument. How you think it out in your head ain't how it came out of your mouth. So then you say, well, monkeys eat potato chips and Fruit Loops in the morning. And the person say, well, okay, but what does that have to do with what we're talking about over here? You had 10 points to make before you got to your 11th point about the monkeys and the Fruit Loops and the potato chips, which would have all tied in. But because you forgot the other 10 points because you were unqualified on the subject matter, your 1 point make you look like a blithering idiot. Today's topic, Kanye and Kyrie should be quiet and get to know Yahweh. Does that make any sense? They should be quiet, especially Kanye. Must be something to that. I keep calling the boy Conway. I do know he has Kanye. Trust me, he's conned a lot of yay. You just ain't figured it out yet. See, remember in England, they would go through the town, hear ye, all that. Well, Kanye, and you all ain't catch it yet. See, we can call him crazy, we can say whatever, but let's say it what it is. The man need prayer, like we all do. Sometimes demons, now this is where comedy comes into play now, an evil spirit. These spirits have no feelings for us. They don't care that if they're able to enter and possess this vessel, they do not care how they make you look. So if an evil spirit, a comedic spirit, a buffoonish spirit can get a hold of us, then it's got to make that body be comedic and buffoonish in such a way that it just embarrasses the vessel, while the vessel is thinking that it's up to par. You understand it? See, you know somebody, you go up, you start your own church, you change your name Kanye to Kanyesus or whatever it was. Remember, let's not forget all of that because he said he was Jesus, whatever that is. But don't wipe that away because he did say it. He went and started a church. He went and invented some big old stupid boots and some more stuff. He invented a shirt, looked like, you know, them old sofas grandma used to have with the 3 square pillows. Remember that? Well, he invented a shirt that's big like that. And I said, and brother showed it to me. I said, well, send me that picture. I want that. My phone is evidence. But it looked like somebody stole grandma's pillow. And your arms don't come down. You know, I'll show y'all the picture at recess. Yeah, you just, it's huge. It's stupid. And this is the designer of clothes now, okay? This is somebody that take Versace place. So Yisrael is excited that somebody stood up. Now imagine Kanye several thousand years ago. Yisrael troubled by Goliath. King David, he wasn't born yet. He born in another time. In fact, he gonna be born in Kanye place. So now Kanye rise up. He got to go out and fight Goliath for Yisrael with a big pillow shirt and some giant boots. We would be, as a nation, totally embarrassed and in trouble. You understand? Let me bring this as best I can without disrespecting them, but yet not playing with them. I will speak to them like a father would speak to a son that's foolish. You hear me? Sometimes you got to rebuke your children. They cutting up, doing stuff. So, nah, now I know you know better than that. You ever heard them old folks say stuff to you like, the more I teach you, the dumber I get? You done frustrated them when they say something like that to you. Because what they mean is, I broke it down to you as plain as I could. You didn't understand it. So then I broke down what I broke down a little more so you could understand it. I went over there and didn't come back and you messed it up again. So now I got to break down what I broke down and got to break it down even more so you can understand it. So now they're looking for easier words to get across to you, to get a simple point across, so that the simpler the point is, the more they try to break it down, the more foolish they look trying to get you to see it. So then they say, the more I teach you, the dumber I get. This has to be the condition Yisrael is in. And we have to see this now. You ready for this comparative analysis? And I'm going on into my scripture. If the Jewish community is saying that they're the chosen people, right? Everybody mad with them. The Romans mad with them. The Arabs mad with them. Now everybody just mad with you. And you never give any scriptural cause or scriptural evidence as to why everybody mad with you. You just say anti-Semitic, and that shut anybody down that's mad with you. But have you ever stopped and considered that you damn well could be doing something that's annoying people? Make sense yet? If not, don't agree with me. I'm just going on. You see, everybody just picking on you because you're Jewish. So you say, all right, let's leave that point over there. So you ain't keeping nothing in the Torah. You ain't advocating none of the feast days to Yahweh's people. You ain't spreading nothing to the world. You just make the world shut the hell up and bow down to you. But you ain't telling us about the beautiful things in the word of Yahweh. Here we come. We wake up and realize who we are. We're the people of the book. Now, nobody's advocating the depth. I'm not saying nobody, but I'm saying major people in the spotlight. So we wake up and say, well, we're the Jews. We're the original Jews. Okay. If you're going to use that term, with that term and with that knowledge, now comes some work to do. You have to keep his command. You got to keep his Torah. When you start advocating this in your community, overnight, you'll see a change. Because now people will take if we're going to use the word pride, let's use it, but people will take a sense of pride in knowing who they are now, knowing I have this commitment before the Most High that I must do. But if we ain't going to do that, guess what? We're doing the same thing the Jewish community is doing. We're just yelling, we're the chosen people, without any duties or any responsibility. Does that make any sense? If you just say you Jew and you never say, look, man, stop. Kyrie Irving know damn well they practice on the Shabbat. So now, knowing who you are, can I say this? I'm saying it anyway. Knowing who you are, but your ass out there dribbling the ball on the Shabbat, practicing. Shouldn't you be still? In a sanctuary, somewhere? Kanye, go ahead, punk. And I said that. I'd say it to his face. Go ahead, man. Sit down. Because you're talking all of this stuff, but you ain't living it either. Ever so often, you spout off something offensive and insulting to black people. But yet you want to be loved. But you ain't no different than the Arabs that's in our community with their little stores and all this other stuff in there, you know. We don't know what we should know as a people. Real quick, I'm going to come back to this. I am so nosy, thank Yahweh. I see stuff. I see stuff every day that relate to Yahweh's word. But every now and then, some stuff jump out more than others. So picture if this is in the paper machine or in your store in 7-Eleven, it's sitting down this way. I can look at a newspaper every day and gauge whether or not I need to buy it by the cover story. But there's this interesting thing about the newspapers now. If you can get your hand on it, sometimes you got to at least flip it over. Okay? You got to flip it because all of the intelligence that you need, let's use the military term, is on that front page somewhere. So I'm sitting in the truck looking at something. Story just jump out. Oh, in this news, the New World Order unwinds. So here's the story here. Check it out now. Trade conflict, rising inflation, global tensions. The post-Cold War order promised a world stitched together by markets and cooperation, but that system has come undone. Story, page 11. I like the way they did it. Because, see, if you Yahweh's people, this story would be of interest to you. Because we all knew that when they were talking New World Order, they were talking code, mark of the beast, everything else. So sometimes you got to watch the world leaders. See, Yahweh blessed Israel with Daniel. Daniel was up in politics without running for office, without begging. Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm a Rhodes Scholar. Vote for me. None of that crap. So you go to page A11, the messy unwinding of the New World Order. Quick summary, and I'm going to come back to this because this is interesting. Building bonds. On this side, they broke down how they built the whole New World Order, and they thought it was going to be beautiful and glorious. Remember, Yahweh's word says, when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come upon them unaware. So, boom, this side, they run it down. Trade was at the center of it all. During the early 1990s and the 2000s, paved the way for economic integration, hopes for political cooperation, blah, 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 this, that, and other. An explosion of international banks lending initially sold the country together by their pocketbooks. See that? All of the money boys got together. Loan them. What Brazil? What the hell is that? Oh, it's a country. Okay. Loan them the money. And this is what you do. Strangle the economy to death. Make them lay off teachers, firefighters, and all this other stuff if they can't pay it back. Make them cut jobs, but strangle them. Yeah, give them the money. We'll get it back in 20 years. This is how it worked. And they did it for all the little countries that would buy into it, okay? They're going down. Let's put these on. I don't want to mess this up for y'all because, see, Kanye and them need to understand this. They need to understand this to understand the time we're living in now. Anyway, financial volatility rose with a world awash in cash, culminating in the 2008 global financial crisis. That's this part. Boom. Remember, they loaned them all the money, then created all this confusion and chaos and crashed everything. Now you're in debt. It's like getting a house, getting a loan, got all the money, move into the house, then you lose your job. You got it? Okay. An era of peace that lasted until the 2000s sent military spending way down. They was getting along. We cool. Let's cut back the budget. We don't need all these tanks. Everybody's with us now. We're going to pull this thing off, and we're going to strangle everybody. We're going to mark and tag everything, and it'll be glorious for us forever. But Yahweh's on the throne. Then in 2001, Al-Qaeda terrorists attacked the U.S., which was a signal, hit them, blew the building up, made them cry, all this other stuff. Oh, it's sad. Okay. That was the unraveling moment. Anybody that was around me in 2001 and all that, when we were preaching this, we were saying, this is the signal, everybody. This is the call. We didn't know how many years it would take to unwind, but we kept saying, this is the signal to the unraveling process. So they jump over on this side. They talked about all the stuff that built the glory of the New World Order up. Furniture became the number one instrument around the world. People buying homes, they wanted to furnish their home. Russia emerged, they didn't tell y'all this, as the number one furniture builder in the world, shipping chairs, couches, and all stuff. Those that got old furniture, flip it over. Read it and see it had a hammer and a sickle made in Russia. We sold you your sofa. That type of stuff. Anyway, in turn, China became the world's factory floor. Remember? China started making everything, make it cheap, knock off guitars, knock off cars, knock off everything. They asked China, knock it off. But China didn't know knock it off meant stop it. China thought knock it off meant make a cheaper version of it. Get the difference? So they got mad with China. This is true. I'm explaining to you all in layman's terms so you can understand it better. I'm the idiot that's got to sit down and read it and decipher it and break it down. So if y'all were given the ability to just get it across to you all, make it easier, thank y'all for it, not me, okay? So China wouldn't knock it off the way they thought they were supposed to knock it off. So America, the imports pushed down the cost for American consumers, but it also drove down jobs for U.S. workers in the industry, which was a source for global tension. See how it all started to unravel? So then they jump on this side, disorder. Global integration had benefits, but as the stresses mounted, tools of integration became a means of confrontation. See, in other words, the poorer nations, but yet were able to stand independently, was out there like, so what? I don't want to be part of your new world order anyway. I don't care. I'll stay out here by myself. And they stayed out there by themselves and they toughed it out a little bit. So as the pressure and the tensions mounted on Western civilization, China and Russia and a couple of other little nations, India, Brazil, and others that was tough. Like, I don't want to go along with that. I ain't worship no man. Come out here and make me buy or sell with his mouth. I'll do what I want to do. They waited them out. However, it's got to go the way Yahweh said it would go. So here comes the confusion. The New World Order helped to reduce poverty by bringing work to low-wage countries, especially China. But as China became a manufacturing juggernaut, U.S. jobs felt the impact in furniture and beyond. Remember, America stopped making stuff, right? Don't make it here. Made in China, made in everything. You get everything. You had to check your wife out or your son or your husband when you get them. You know, look, see, they had the label say, made in China. Just everything's come from China, right? In fact, we better check some of these preachers out now, see if they ain't been made in China or something. The U.S. used tariffs to punish China and other trade partners for what they call unfair trade. Tariffs meant, okay, you're sending this to our country and you're charging X amount for it. But we here buying it, but we ain't got enough jobs to do this, that, and other. So I'll put an extra tax on it. You know what the tax is that you're paying it, but once it hit my port, I got to put an extra tax on it. They just call it a tariff. You understand? They call themselves trying to punish them. So pay attention, because this is where it gets interesting. Financial integration also became a weapon of war through the use of sanctions, which have surged after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Sanctions meaning, okay, you got money. It's in our bank, though, international. Well, I'll keep it. I won't take it from you, but I'll freeze the account so you can't do business from it or what have you. But yet you won't get mad at me and say I stole it. I'll just make sure you can't use it right now. You understand how it works? And then everybody that's rolling with me, I'll threaten them and make sure they don't trade nothing with you or let you sell nothing with. You got to understand how it works, because this is the school bully where he won't let you eat your own lunch. But then all your little friends that's there that will trade a snack or two with you, he try to bully them to make sure they don't trade nothing with you. You get it? All right. I hope these terms help. Anyway. Global supply chains became stressed out, and U.S. firms began shifting activity from China to Vietnam, to India, Thailand, and other Asian countries. They called them the Asian tigers because they got a little aggression. What? Make a TV? Damn right, we'll make a TV. Bring it over here. Yeah, we'll make it. Make a who? A suit? A sock? You know, they made them little socks with the 6 toes or whatever. Anyway. Among other problems, the tension is helping to fuel inflation. Then COVID disrupted the supply chain. Now watch, they flagged the China because I mentioned that. See, y'all know I got to get it in, right? It came up. I'm like the old folks. It's like upchuck. When it comes up, it comes out. Okay, let me get this in now. You people at YouTube, man, y'all are something else, man. You are bigger than a pile of crap at the circus. Had to pause, look in the cat. You got to put the chilling effect on. You know, sometimes you be talking to people, the way you look at people, you know. I had an inspector come on the job. She was talking to me. She said something stupid the other day. So I stopped and just didn't talk, just put the chilling effect on. So then she says, well, Deej. I'm thinking, the hell is a Deej? See, it ain't but 2 letters in it. It's DJ. See, they always got to cut you short. So now I go from DJ to Deej. So I stood there, I started cleaning my boot off. I was like, in case I need to. But anyway, yeah. You got to know how to relax and deal with white people. I'm telling y'all, you got to have a sense of humor sometimes, even when embarrassing them, even when subtly threatening them. You got to know how to do it, okay? Kanye obviously don't know how to do it. You turn to Yahweh, you get some power. So, after that disrupted supply chains, tariff sanctions have multinational firms rethinking their plans. Ukraine war cut into the energy supplies. Consumers everywhere start to feel the heat of the new world disorder. I think they did an excellent breakdown with telling you, hey, look, we in trouble and don't really know how to tell y'all that we rocking and reeling. This ain't the Beach Boys with Barbara Ann. This rocking and reeling, it's going to eventually topple over because Yahweh said so. So for Yisrael to be waking up, it's beautiful that more and more people are realizing we are the people of the book. There are some steps that we're going to have to learn and understand. This how you know people ain't reading something. Remember the bookcase story I always told y'all about? certain person walked down the basement and looked at it and it looked good and put their hand on the bookcase to see, and the bookcase just... And I had all these extra screws left over. This is what's happening with our brothers that are waking up, claiming that we the Jews. Okay, beautiful. You are waking up. You are realizing we are the people of the book. The book is talking about us. The book, like electricity in your house, if you never turn the switch on after BGE or whatever the gas company is, if they come out and turn your lights off, you got to get the money in real fast. You got to put that extra deposit down, what have you, and hope they turn the lights on before 5 o'clock, right? If anybody ever been through that. I described that a little too well, right? That was the signal. People like, oh, he had his lights cut off before. Sure did. So you gotta pay it in a way. Now, if they did it in the daytime, you had all the lights off, you might not know that the power been back on, right? So then you keep checking the switch, right? Nothing happened. Then when they do cut it on, boom, all right, now you're happy. So our brothers that are awakening, right now, you're still in the dark. You won't turn the power on because you will not tell the nation of Yisrael what the power source is. I give you a clue. Turn on the light. Teddy said, turn it off. We are saying, turn it on. Okay? Arguing with the Jews ain't even on the agenda. You can go 7 days a week anywhere on the planet and never have a confrontation with a Jewish person. So what? You say you're Jewish. We being Hebrews, we being Israelites, there's more than one tribe. You can't make the whole nation one tribe. Jacob had 12 sons and one daughter. Everything was started on the principal foundation of their great-granddaddy, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. 12 tribes. Everybody claimed Judah. This was the first thing I discovered in studying the Jewish question and the issue of it. They are power hungry, right? Power hungry. So everybody want to be one of two tribes. They always claim Levi or Judah. They know Levi is the priesthood. They know Yahudah is the royalty or the kingship. But they also know that there was a change made in the law because Yahshua came out of the tribe of Judah, of which tribe Moshe spoke nothing concerning priesthood. You got to know your culture to know that, okay? Because Yahweh was fusing it together as prophet, priest, and king. That's why he did it that way. So everybody want to be Judah. So these people that I mentioned earlier that took us out the land and replaced us with another people, those people couldn't live the culture of the land and the land was spewing them out. So then they had to bring us in to teach them how to live the land till they got up enough where they thought they was fooling the Most High, but yet still ain't living it. This is us today. We are doing the same thing they're doing. They're claiming Jewishness and just running with it. Every time, ain't no whole bunch of people around going after y'all and burning up your synagogues and beating you up. Oh, shut the hell up with that. We are so tired of hearing that. You are lying. And Yahshua called you out as liars. But we don't listen. We don't read. We don't pay attention to the book. Listen, note number one, I made a note to myself. As serious as these men are about waking Black America up, they can't do it if they themselves don't know what to do once awakened, right? Wake somebody up. Some people wake up dazed or dizzy, you know. Everybody don't wake up and come straight to their senses. And, all right, let me get up, let me get dressed. Some people get up and take them a half hour because they be kind of like. You ever see people like that? Just wake up dazed and don't wake them up from a dream or something. They really get up and get crazy. Everybody acting like,
well, I get straight up. I wake up dignified, elder.
all right, praise Yahweh. See, some place when you wake up, you know, if you tired of your job, you wake up a different way. You know, I get up now. I realized something earlier in the month, brother. This is what I realized. I said, how come my back don't never hurt till I put on work clothes? Simple observation. You ever think about the day Shabbat, day off? Look at me. Hallelujah. Think about it. Right? Monday, I got to put them boots on. Got to put them khakis on, whatever they got to put their safety vest on. Ooh. But I'll be like, good morning, old man. Like, hey. Let's go to Psalm 119. This is for Kanye and Kyrie. Again, let's not disrespect them, but let's lay out something they should know. I was looking up their salaries and what they got, right? Then some stuff came up I didn't want to know, but it was good to know. I was like, okay, is Kyrie married? Boom, picture of his wife. His wife kind of looked like, trying to think of the girl's name. Yeah, trash can. What'd you say? She kind of looked like Kim Kardashian. Trash can. You got to be careful with stuff like that. People getting their feelings or whatever. I wouldn't want to have to slap the brother, but anyway. I was looking at his wife with this dress slit way up here, right? See how you Hebrews can't control your wives? That's the first step. You teach her the greatness of who we are. You pull all them clothes down, you pull up them tops, you button that up. You ain't got to walk around in the desert now with a turtleneck and all that stuff on falling out. That's not what we're saying. But there is a line of modesty with the way the daughters of Yahweh dress. No split up the yang and all this. You out smiling. Hey, bro, you don't know how sad you are. Ask 10 men that seen that picture. What was you thinking when you saw my wife? Now you're going home brokenhearted. Especially if they tell you the truth. Whereas you could have avoided that. Okay? Kanye, See, when you rap it and then live it out, and people forget that you lived it out, that's crazy. Because remember what he told the black women now about how watch that man because he get rich and then he get on and he leave you for a white girl. Remember that now? Then you jumped over there and now you're crying because the white girl left you and ran to a Jewish comedian. Let's get this out there now. A comedian. Now, Pete Davidson ain't tough. And Kanye ain't tough. So here, two chumps don't like each other. Fighting over a trash can. Okay. I stand behind what I said and I ain't going to apologize. Anyway. Now you all upset, right? But if you intent to wake Yisrael up, let's look at something right here in the scripture. Psalms 119, verse 9. You want to wake the children of Yisrael up, right? Now, pay attention to how deep the word talks to you. See, this is how you know you're starting to obey Yahweh. Where sometime a preacher preach something in the sermon, you may learn this point, that point, this point, that point. You learn so much in the lesson, in the message. He says so much, but then there's always that one thing that just dug you in your gut so deep, you might dig in your bag and get a tissue for because that one was brought to your attention. And you start crying about that sin, or you think about it, and you realize, oh, I got it. It's always something that pricks our conscience, right? Okay, good. Now y'all arguing. We're the Jews. We're this. We're that. Okay, you wake up. You pull the community together. Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereto, according to thy word. Now, this is somebody, poetically speaking, writing for you and I, while in the process of the writing and the prayer, they're talking to Yahweh while answering themselves, right? So, by what means shall a young man cleanse his way? Oh, yeah, by taking heed according to your word. Hear what it says. Take heed to Yahweh according to his word, right? So now you tell us what to do. But hey, if you're not of the priesthood, but you just got a lot of mouth, black man, hey, black man, black man, black man. If you're going to stand up anywhere on the world stage, you have to pray to be wrapped in the power of his Ruach. Because if you're not, you'll always be compelled to apologize to the devil, even when you think you spoke the truth. See, you don't apologize for no truth. You ever had parents that you did something wrong? This the older generation. You young bucks don't know nothing about this. But you older people. You ever had the siblings, somebody did something, but everybody tough, ain't nobody gonna tell. So mama or grandmama, pop, somebody, they get everybody. Then after they realize the one who really did it, there is no apology for the rest of y'all, right? And they can even sometimes justify. They say, yeah, well, I probably owed you that for something you did, and I ain't get you. Right? Remember them? Y'all had them parents like, hands. All right. Those were the good old days, though, weren't they? You came up a little better now, didn't you? See, little children today, but they get away with everything. Ma, I don't want to eat that sugar honey iced tea. And mom be like, oh, well, don't eat it then. What would you like? See, I ain't out that generation. That ain't how it would happen. You know, you'd be like, wake up. Where am I? And where are my teeth? And why does my face hurt so bad? Look at all these angels around me. But anyway, y'all gonna need them days back. Right now, they're getting away with everything. So he asked, how shall a young man cleanse his way? If you're waking up to the fact that we're Hebrews, then we got some work to do, right? You're posting the video clip. Somebody gave me the book years ago, Hebrews to Negroes. And it's good because of the content, the information, whatever it was that the brother put in it. Well, I never read it. I have it in my library, and I was trying to find it the other day since I mentioned it to you. I was trying to find it. I got about 6,000 books in my office. So it's kind of hard. I categorize stuff. I know where stuff is, but then sometimes I don't. So I was trying to find it, but I've never read it. And not disrespecting the brother that wrote it and the work he's doing, because he's doing the work. But I never read it because as a child, this is all I ever heard. My father taught us history, Ethiopia. He talked about Antiochus Epiphanes, man. He broke down Alexander. He taught us about Solomon, all this. So we heard it all our lives. I'm almost 60. This is all I know. So, fine, I didn't need it. But for somebody that's been in the Christian world, been in the prison, been in the street, family struggles and all, and they are awakening to it, that type of information is beautiful as an introduction to somebody that's 25 or 30 or 40 just coming to it. Not saying I'm above it, but I'm saying I didn't need it. So we thank Yahweh that somebody wrote it. But I'm more than certain if he wrote it, somehow, some way, somewhere in there, he's got to repeatedly refer us back to the law. How to live, how to keep it. Certain things you have to do that you may keep a household that is fully Baruch of Almighty Yahweh. It's more to it than just knowing who you are and not doing what you're supposed to do. Now, this ain't anti-Semitic, but that's what you got to throw back at the Jewish community. You say you are the chosen one, but you won't do chosen work. Get your ass out of my face until you obey Yahweh. That's all. We ain't got nothing to talk about. Who needs you? The hell are you? I don't need you to obey Yahweh. And you don't want us to obey anyway. Arguing with them about slavery, slave ships. They underwrote the insurance policy. They insured the ships. They insured the cargo. We know all of that. They admitted that the Nation of Islam's 2 books, the secret relationship between black, they admitted it was fully and well done. They admitted it. Okay. Now what? Did they apologize? So now you going down the court and dribble the ball. Shut up. Yeah, I said, I put that up on my page. It should make you shoot jumpers better. It should make you do layups better. Because you stand strong in what you did. So now your 90 million is in jeopardy. And they made you sit down for 5 games. Man, I wish my boss would give me 5 days off or something. Yes, man, you did a good job over there, man, but y'all messed up on that street there, and you know what? Y'all, here, take 5 days off. Now, I'm like, all right, that's punishment, but that's cool. 5 whole days? All right, I got to do this, do that. So now you out for 5 games. Now you quiet. But all the fanfare of the Hebrews around America that's waking up, they don't know what the hell is going on now. Because they confused. They waiting on you as the leadership. It reminds you of an Earth, Wind, and Fire song called System of Survival. And I know y'all ain't listened to the words. You was too busy jamming. You was going with that. There's words in the song. They said it's my system of survival while waiting for somebody new to lead the revolution. So I dance. It's my system of survival. You got me? Who is Casper Roasted? Anybody know him? Casper Roasted. No, he ain't a ghost. Then again, he is a ghost. Might be filled with the Holy Ghost. I don't know, but who's Roland Ashuel? Anybody know him? Ever heard of him? How about Brian Gravy? Grevy. How about this one? That's a good one. Harm Oldmeyer. Harm. Harm. Now, can you imagine his wife? I'm really gonna marry Harm. And Dad can say, oh, yeah, sure. What's in a name? Harm Oldmeyer. Ohlmeyer. Oldmeyer. How about Amanda Ray Krumer? It's a good one. Amanda Ray Krumer. Amanda is Brazilian, but she's a British national. She lives in Britain. Okay, keep that in mind, because this is where the story and the plot thickens. Then there's Martin Shankland. Sound like somebody put a knife in you. He just lived with Shankland. These people are the board of directors for Adidas. Okay? These 6 people. And then a vote was taken as to how to get rid of somebody. And, somebody got to get the shank put up in them. So then there's this international supervisory board made up of 16 people. So you just pull one to make this vote perfect for when you get rid of somebody like Kanye. Okay, so who is Jackie Joyner Kersey? He has won the pie. Y'all hear where I'm going with this, right? 6 people make a decision. You need one more person to make it final. You got 16 just hanging out in the wings, but some kind of way. Now, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to get up off that point. That's a good cliffhanger for y'all. I'm moving on. So, you want to wake everybody up? Here's what the man said when he realized how he was going to go wake them up. With my whole heart have I sought you. Oh, let me not wander from thy commandment. Can you be a rapper, multi-billion-dollar rapper, and a commandment keeper? On a global scale? That would have been a real beautiful effect if I could have just sang one line from a Kanye song. That would have capped it off, right? I couldn't even think of nothing. Goes to show you how insignificant he is. Thy word have I hid in mine heart. Notice he didn't say your Benjamins have I hid in my account. Now, I ain't saying get all the 100. I got to watch what I say. People take everything. I ain't saying get the $100 bills out your bank account. That ain't what I'm saying. He didn't say I hid your Benjamins in my account. He says, thy word have I hid in my heart. Why? That I might not sin against thee. Is this making sense yet? See, if you're going to teach the nation that they are Yahweh's people, don't go half-stepping. Do not go buy a new house and surprise your family and then pull up and say, yeah, that's it right there. And then pull off. Because sleeping in the car ain't going to set too well with them after you showed them the new house you just bought. because you done shipped all the furniture from the old house to the new one. They ain't seen it, but now you're surprising them and say, yeah, this our new house. And peel off. No. You take them in, right? If you're going to introduce Black America to really who the great majority, hear me on this point, who the great majority of us are, then you got to tell us what to do. And I said the great majority because all Black people are not Hebrews. You got to understand it. Stop thinking when a person tell you who they are, just like something from your genetic, psychological, and spiritual past calls out to you that you know who you are, then don't think a Black Muslim don't know who he is. Don't think an East Arab or whatever don't know who he is. So you can't take all of us because some of us are just downright heathenic. And if that ain't a word, it's a word today. We are heathens. So if by chance they reject Yisrael or they hate it, some of them are Yahweh's and don't know they are his, and therefore they hate him. Then there's some that look like us and hate him because they really are not of it. Can't just say it's all of us. We had a whole big continent there. And we were all on it together. When we fled, we went west. And then they came down and followed us. And they cut deals all across their Central African part. And they were coming to get us. And some of them were grabbing us and sending us because even they did not like us. Now, that ain't to say today all of them hate us. Don't go with no more hatred today than you did yesterday before I said that. You give everybody the benefit of the doubt until what? Till the benefits run out. Right? When the benefits run out, what's left? The doubt. You get what I'm saying? Look, they give you unemployment. What's it called? Benefits. When the benefits run out, you ain't got nothing left coming, right? So now we're going to give everybody on the earth, give them all, give the whole world the benefit of the doubt. Now, here's how you switch it. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I doubt that you ever going to do me right. But I'm going to wait and see. So now you're getting the benefits because I got to deal with you. I got to interact with you. I got to work with you. I got to live next door to you, what have you. Okay, you act like you're fine. We're cool, what have you, this, that, and other. But once the benefits run out and the devil jump in them, ain't no room left for doubt. There it is. I doubt whether or not you're going to do right by me. I have thus proven the doubt. You earned the benefit of the doubt. Did that make any sense? We got to learn how to function like that in the world instead of just being emotionally charged with them every time we want to argue with them. Sometimes, some of them, it's better to just be quiet. You don't even have to say nothing to them. You don't even have to identify yourself. See, a lot of times we want to be seen as Hebrews. Okay, and after they see you as a Hebrew, now what? Most people, look, you got to understand how the press works. The press will only highlight the negativity of anything that we do. So they'll highlight some Hebrew Israelites on the corner cussing people out. But then there'll be some other Hebrew Israelites on the corner preaching the truth of sincerity and love and just laying it out. They won't show them. So then everybody get the blanket coverage of, oh, you one of them. What's one of them? You know, you got to switch that up. I talked to a brother the other day. He said, oh, so you one of them. And I said, so I suspect you one of them. He said, one of what? Now, I'm just in his head now. I could have been talking about anything. So I said, well, what you talking about? He said, nah. He said, you know what? I don't even want to get into this with you. I said, no, you brought it up. Treat it like upchuck. Let it come on out. He said, no, you first. No, you went first. And he would not talk. There's two groups of people in the world that are the biggest liars going right now. That's people saying they're Yahweh's people and are not. And then there's this other group of people that have all this freaky sexual perversion going on and want to impose that on everybody. And they all lie, acting like, you hurt my feelings. Well, if I say, now, technically, you're lying. I didn't touch you. I said something that you did not like. I didn't hurt you. Did you feel the words? Did the words bust you upside your head? Well, let me get this hammer and let me give you a difference between what you're saying and what I know to be the truth. Now, I'm going to say this to you again. Tell me if it hurts and just say what you're saying. Well, no, it didn't hurt. Okay, now I'm going to hit you upside your head with this hammer. Tell me if it hurts. If it hurts, I've hurt your feelings. That might be a poor example, you know, because to story just went down in the news, you know, Hammerman or whatever you want. Sometimes things just be hammered in your mind. You just can't get anyway. Blessed art thou, O Yahweh. Listen to this now. Teach me thy statutes. How you going to teach it if you already think you know and won't hear nobody? And you, man, come on. See, it's interesting that Yahweh allowed the celebrities to rise up. Okay, cool, rising up. Nick Cannon did it and said it. Remember, he wore little turbans on his head and all this stuff. They jump on Nick Cannon for following the rules of the book. Now, he was married to different women. He wasn't just out there putting them all out. And he got 10 children. So they try to belittle him for having 10 children. Stop for a minute. Ain't that part of the Torah? Didn't he say something like, be fruitful and multiply? Now, if Yahweh said, be fruitful and multiply, that's your children. Now, here come this other gang, the alphabet gang. They are fruity and not multiplying. Hey, look, you ain't getting no apology. So you can write, call NAACP. I ain't a member. You can call the National Institute of Hypocriteology and all this other stuff. You ain't getting no damn apology. Use the Fruit Loop. Bottom line. In fact, y'all out there in the little nightclub, the gays and lesbians in the wheelchairs and everything else. It's crazy, man. So what's the name of this club? Oh, this is called the Fruit Roll-Ups. So this. Hey, you get no apology out of me. You mock us for striving to live right. Now we throw it back at you. You don't like it. Damn you. In the name of Yahshua. See, some of us don't have no fear. Please. I switched that button off a long time ago. Thank Yahweh. With my lips have I declared all thy judgments of thy mouth. You hear what he said? He said, with my lips have I declared all the judgments of your mouth. See, Kanye and them can't teach it if they don't know to live it. They just know, hey, we're the people of the book. Well, unlike those people who say they are the chosen one, they ain't doing none of it. They following the Talmud. They ain't living by none of this. But now you going to wake up and you ain't going to live by none of it. Okay, well then tell us the story. When will you get delivered? How will you fare in Armageddon? How will you fare in the Great Tribulation? How will you fare when the kingdom is set up if you ain't got to do nothing yourself as a Hebrew? See, we wrong on this. And nationwide, everybody backing them up. And the priesthood ain't saying nothing. All you got to say, Kanye, Kyrie, hey, man, love you, man, but bruh, sit down, man. Sit down. Yahweh ain't call you. Sit down. You woke up. It's beautiful. Sit down. Take the yoke upon you and learn of him. Because when you speak, they'll all shut down. We got to learn that. It is the power of Yahweh. Now, y'all got to watch what I'm getting ready to say because this ain't sexually explicit. This is putting the content of the English language in a context where it can be understood. See, black men talk too much. They're always woofing and mouthing off and all this stuff and really ain't got that kind of energy to back it up. The only time we got energy to back up anything we say is when we're going at each other. Most painful thing going in the black community right now, and ain't nobody thinking about this. The most painful thing going in the black community, and you ain't heard nobody thinking about this, is how two black women can come to be pitted against each other. And I didn't think about it until I watched the news the other day. Here's a mother, raised her son as best she could to do right, to live right, pleasant spirit, wasn't into drugs, alcohol, no, nothing. He gets murdered at a gas station trying to gas up his car by the son of a mother who clearly taught her son nothing. You get the difference? So here's the mother that did the best she could. With or without knowing Yahweh, she raised him right. Here's a mother didn't say, Jack, let him go. As scripture says, a child left unto himself should be the shame of his mother. So when the pain is all said and done, This mother has her terrible child. He come home every night, hide in the basement, do whatever he want to do anything. She don't correct him. She don't know nothing. But she's on the news without realizing it. Here's the other mother who lost her child and will never see him again, though she tried, according to what little knowledge she had, to do right. This happens every day. Don't nobody bring it up. Y'all ever heard it? There's another side to it. We as men, we as fathers, we as grandfathers, got to get up, got to get involved, got to advocate the Torah. You got to walk in the power of the Torah. You have to know how you are living so that it exudes from you, not where you just make it be seen. Go somewhere and put your little shirt back so they can see your little zits hanging down. What happens when you're hiding and don't know who you are, but yet you have a spirit of Yahweh upon you in such a way where all he's got to do now is awaken you and give you his name. His presence already with you to a point and a degree that you don't even know it. But people look up, well, nah. Let's bring it in again, R&B. The OJs sang a song called Family Reunion. And in the song, there's this line where he breaks it down so gentle and he starts describing the role of a father. And he describes how he's not arrogant, not dogmatic, he's not dominant, but he's loving, he's caring in a very fine and authoritative way. He breaks it down. Where is that today? Because it is in the Torah. You understand? See, if you focus and your focus is prioritized, you ain't got to be mad just going at the Jews, the Jews, the Jews. See, it sounds like a disease. Think about it after a while. You know, what's up with Kanye? Oh, man, he's just chilling, man. Go out there going at them Jews. Huh? What? Yes, they are afraid of you waking up. But you really want to make them afraid? You really want to give them a heart attack? You really want to get a bunch of them at one time? Keep Yahweh's commandments and ignore them. Have no dealings whatsoever with them. Just obey Yahweh. What can they do to stop? What weapon can they go and invent that will stop you? When the word of Yahweh says, no weapon that is formed against you shall prosper. And every tongue that shall rise up against you in judgment, obviously you're going to talk back because it says, thou shalt condemn. But see, you can't talk back if you're talking in inconclusive sentences like poor little Kyrie did. I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know who I am. Hitler knew who he was. I don't think y'all get it. That wasn't even an answer. That was a context clue. Brother, open the box and show him the gift. You understand? Say, I can't possibly be anti-Semitic if the true definition of Semitic, according to your Oxford English Dictionary, according to your Zondervan's and some others, I cannot be that if, according to the definition of it, as you all have it written down in the English language, points directly back to me. How am I going to be anti-me? If I'm anti-me, I would have killed myself a long time ago. If I'm anti-self, I would have offed myself a long time. What are you saying? Now they're getting up off of you. Now you get no press coverage. Now you start living in peace because the cameras ain't on you no more. You understand what I'm saying? When you know your subject matter, they ain't bothering you. Look, don't get me wrong. I ain't saying they ain't coming. I'm saying when you know your subject matter, they're not bothering you. Especially if you can pin them down before all the world. Come on, man. Just going these angry tirades with them. Anybody paying them people no mind. I keep Yahweh's commandment. People ask, well, why can y'all feast days ain't with the Jewish people? I said, well, that's because we ain't Jewish. Anything else you want to know? Y'all ain't lined up with the Jewish people. That's good. Hallelujah. Bless his Kodesh name. Nothing. I have rejoiced in the way of thy testimony. Did you hear what he said? I have rejoiced. Listen, y'all, this is a very important word in the scripture. Testimonies. I have rejoiced in the way of thy testimony. The word is iduth. The Hebrew word iduth. Now check out what it means now. The iduth, therefore, means as or relating back to something that Yahweh has said. Okay? Testimony. It all relates exclusively back to Yahweh. It is a word that is always used in reference to something that he has said. That's why even in the word it says, to the law and to the testimony. If they don't speak according to this word, according to his word, then it is because there is no light in them. Is he not the light of the world? So how are we going to wake everybody up, but we won't advocate him? This is our neon sign to shine back at those who shine their anti-Semitic neon sign on us. This is our kryptonite to them. They despise him. Now they say their king is coming. Okay. We've been watching their king since around 1988, 89. We kept saying, yeah, when he comes. In fact, my exact words were, when old girl dropped. Those are my exact words. I said it's on. Then one day, old girl didn't quite drop. She laid down, but either way, all hell broke loose in that country the next damn day. That's the signal, because everybody got scared. There he go. He on to give my money out that bank. Bank. Well, you can't take all of this. I want it all. Give me that. Oh, we got to raise interest on other people now to get this and that. Then the other people come. Give me mine. So then it start crumbling. Everybody make a run on the bank at the same time. The bank ain't got all that money. He said, now look, man. Remember that story, TV movie, A Christmas Story? Remember when they made that run on the bank? And the little bank president started explaining to the people, I don't have your money. It's in his house. We did that loan for him. And we did this. And we did that. And see, sometimes white folk tell you stuff. We just ain't paying no attention. Now watch somebody there say, what the hell he done watching A Christmas Story? Because I'm nosy. I watch everything as best I can, that I can see how it relates to Yahweh's word. And then I get up here, my bald-head self, and I tell you as best I can. And you don't believe me. Till 3-4 weeks later, you get down the road and you be mad. You say, well, John, make me sick. He was right, though. And then their wives will say stuff like, yeah, I know, I told you. Shut up. I'm telling you, that's how it goes. They get offended. We as black men have to come to love Yahweh. When we come to learn to love Yahweh, we can love our wives better. We can love our children better. We can love them so much we can turn them over to Yahweh and safely trust that he'll take care of them. You hear what I said? Something was on my mind last night while service was going on. I walked outside. And I walked right to the edge of that curb and I prayed about it. And I asked Almighty Yahweh, you be your will. You do this, you do that. Because I know somebody was in a predicament where they can't stop it themselves and they need help. And I remember when the person was born, how I prayed for that person. And I turned around and I looked up at the moon. And I saw the most interesting thing. The moon was right there. And there was a star to the far right. And I pulled my little phone out and I shot a picture of it. And then when we all left out later, it had moved from over the back of the building to right here, over the sidewalk. And that little star still there. And I thought about it. I said, yeah, I'm going to trust Yahweh. He made the sun, the moon, and the stars. He made the birds of the earth, everything you can think of. And yet he said he feeds them every day. He will not leave us nor forsake us. Sometimes Yahweh take long coming and moving. Then you got to go back and beg him again. You got to ask him like the psalmist said, make no tarry. You got to ask him to move in a hurry for you. You got to pray. Right now, Yahweh's little people are all across the nation under attack. We have gotten so much email and calls and different things, texts about the children now, the babies in schools where we all don't have our own. So then they're being bullied simultaneously. That's a context clue. That's letting us know the ante is being upped by people that even look like us, attacking and assaulting our children now. All the babies ain't warriors. Everybody, come on, y'all. All of them ain't got that little warrior spirit. Some of them are just so sweet and pleasant that Yahweh didn't make them little fighters and killers and murderers and all that. So then how do we handle it? Somebody got to beg and plead and pray. Right now, all black America are distracted because they think the biggest problem we got right now is Kanye's under attack. Well, Kanye self-inflicted that. You made that. Now, picture me. I know this is impossible. Picture me somewhere with a company like that. I got several $billion contract. Okay, I'm going to be quiet and get as much of it as I can because I know two things. Number one, I don't need no billions of dollars or millions to live. So now I'm going to earn this. I'm going back to my people. Hey, man, look, let's buy that lot right there. Let's build up a little 3 or 4 story high rise for our seniors. Let's put them there. Let's tear that block down. Let's put a little school here for our little children, Hebrews, and have Yahweh's curriculum or whatever. You do stuff like that. Stop trying to hoard all this world's wealth. Do something with it. If you get it like that, do something with it. Then you flip out and I can say and do anything I want to do, and Adidas cannot stop. Adidas said, what? Make you think that? All right, get out of here. Boop. Then you're out there, and then I lost $2 billion. You never had it, you ain't lose it. Go and research Forbes. Forbes magazine said this is how they tabulated it. It was based upon a 10-year contractual agreement to sell annually X amount of Yeezy, all the other stupid stuff to get that amount. If you getting $2.5 billion, imagine what they get. And here you one black man among all these poor black men in America getting that kind of money, dying with it wouldn't be the wise thing to do. Get the contract, get it all, and give it away to Yahweh. Ain't that what Yahshua said to the rich man? Go give it away. Sell what you got, give to the poor. No, you trying to get more and more so you can just look crazy and stupid. You need prayer. And the other one, I can't. Look, I was never good at basketball, so I know it ain't jealousy, but I don't know. I can't see me running around nowhere trying to throw a ball, trying to get all this. Okay, if I'm getting that, it don't take all of that for me to live. So now let's do something for unemployed black men. Let's do a job skill center. Now this is where you have permission to go to Google. Go Google job creation center. How do I build one? How do I make it? What do I do? All right, now I'm going to use the government like they use me. All right, I'll fill this out as a nonprofit and I'll get you to back me up while I take the funding from you and I go and build a training center and I turn them loose on you. We ain't thinking. Let me go find some black men interested in farming. We're going to take some money and build it up, and we're going to call it the Deacon Reginald Taylor School of Farming. And we're going to build the curriculum based on what Yahweh give him. And we'll do this, we'll do that. Now, that's how you network. Just every week on TV, arguing with a bunch of people. You really can't even, oh, man. Yahweh loves his people. But knowing who we are without learning to obey is not going to save any of us. So you know what? We have to be reintroduced to Yahweh and Yahshua. We're his people. We have to be reintroduced to him. And then we got to learn his rule. I mean, y'all ever had your parents give you this line? In my house, you will abide by my rules. Ain't that how it go? Well, if we want to abide in Yahweh's house, aren't there some rules? They made a TV show called Father Knows Best. It was crap. You know who was at the head of it. But anyway, Father knows best. Abba Yahweh knows what he wants us to do. Why are we so rebellious? You really won't sleep too well unless you start learning to obey him. And then there's this benefit of the doubt. Check this one out. You don't know him. You're just learning of him. You're scrambling and fumbling in the dark, but you're trying to get it right. And he loves you so much, you start seeing little pieces of the puzzle of your life fall in place. Not because you're perfect, but because you're now just striving. Isn't that beautiful? So what's need of waking up, arguing about who we are, and we ain't doing it? We have, anybody here ever been hired on a job? I was waiting to see was y'all gonna catch that. There you go. You ever been hired on a job and yeah, okay, I'm past that now. But didn't do what you supposed to do? How long you be there? Okay. So Yahweh made an everlasting covenant with our father and his seed after him, knowing the man so well that he knew the man was going to instruct his children. It was in the man's heart so well to obey Yahweh. Not only did he make him, check this out, he made him, but he brought himself down on his level while not losing his eternal righteousness. He brought himself down on his level, and he used the word to describe him that's so touching, we never even think about it. He called Father Abraham his friend. Stop and think about it for a moment. That's coming down on the man's level without losing his righteousness, his kodesh, his holiness. He called him his friend. Even coming down on his level, he still had to at least come up to get that kind of recognition. And that's your father? And you don't want to do what your father did? What good is arguing with Silverstein, Snappenstein, or stealing all the stolen stuff to ever steal? What good is that? Funny as that is, y'all know it's true, right? You can tell what their favorite stuff is by them last names, right? So what do you steal? What do you mean what I steal? What's your last name? Rubenstein. Okay, he steals rubies. That's your name, Goldstein. Why? Bet you own a pawn shop, don't you? Yeah, how'd you know? He said, well, what about you? What is your name? I'm Saperstein. Oh, my, let me get away from you. Well, you're going to sap all my energy out of me. I got to go. Get it? We don't pay attention. So if we got to be reintroduced to Yahweh, we got to repent, be baptized, and then learn how to keep his commandments. How come Kyrie and Kanye, I couldn't even think his name. I'm having a senior moment up here. Son. Anyway, how come they can't find this stuff right here in the book? Watch this. Turn with me to Psalm 78. Y'all ready for this? Now, if you're going to get black folk roused up, rouse them up for the truth and then tell them how they got to obey it. We will never be accused on this channel of not advocating the Torah. You can say whatever you want to say. You can put your negative comments up in the comment section, all that, but you will never be able to accuse us of not teaching the Torah. This is what we are commanded to live by. This is what we're going to live by. Every now and then I say something. I know my stuff is a little unorthodox to them or whatever case. Sometimes it's a little humorous or a little comical, whatever. That's just me. I'm a little animated like that. I read and study so much of this stuff. I look at it. You have to have a safety valve. You have to have a release mechanism. Some stuff, sometimes you got to deal with it in humor just to get by, okay? I have to deal with a woman daily. She kind of mean or kind of nasty to me, you know? So then one day I figured it out. So every time she be mean or smart to me, I have sense of humor, and I kind of get her back with an embarrassing little comment or something, you know? So the other day she was talking to me all smart. So I had a witness in the room. So I was like, stop blinking your eyes. What are you doing? And she way over there. And the woman was like, that was smooth. I said, yeah, oh, Long Island, you need to go on down the hall and sweep the hall up on your way down. Just keep on blinking. You know how to get people back, you know. She stopped. She'd laugh at that and say, okay, you got me. I'm thinking, I got plenty. I got plenty. You're going to get tired of talking nasty to me. You're going to be nice to me. And so by Friday, well, you have a great weekend. I stopped. I said, you too. And went on out the door. Had to get the last one in. I ain't playing. But anyway, you got to learn how to release. The children of Yisrael, nationwide, we suffering, we crying, we're hurting. They go at us, they do any and everything to us, and yes, it hurts. So every now and then when we get a champion or what we think is a champion and they stand up, we all tend to rally around it. A lot of times without proper information, because we don't know, okay, if they can make you apologize for what you said, one of two things happen. Number one, either they punked you, or number two, you really weren't sincere with what you said. You understand? I know a little boy years ago, he hit me with something. He hit me, and his father couldn't make him apologize to save his life. He stood his ground. He wouldn't apologize. He hit me with a toy. But it's based on what he was hearing at home that was driving his hatred. And I discerned it. I felt it. I understood it. And I wasn't mad. I understood it. But my point, he was 7 years old. He stood his ground. He wouldn't yield. If we are for the truth, take note from that child. You don't yield on the truth. This man gave up his life for the truth. Even when praying, he asked Abba Yahweh, if it be your will, remove this cup. And what I liked most about his prayer was he came back around to his senses. And he kept saying, nevertheless, not my will, but thy will be done. You know why thy will be done was said? Because Father knows best. He knew that. See, our brothers, they're not sure. They don't know that. They don't know that we need some strength. If you're dealing with a nation of people that took over the planet, and you can research them and trace them, the Order of the Garter, the Royal Knights at the Club Foot, and all this other stupid stuff, whatever they into, if you can trace it and catch them admitting that Lucifer is their main man, this who they would, then don't you think if they got supernatural help, common sense then tells you, you need a superior supernatural help. Why is this not being said to us, nation? Well, I know it's being said, but if you notice how Yahweh done the true shepherds wherever they scattered throughout the face of this earth, you notice real shepherds, Yahweh, true men of Yahweh, they are out there. But they ain't like all over the place, everywhere, every week on CNN. They call them in as the commentator and all. Like, see, here in Baltimore, Tyrone Powell, former FBI agent, was heavily involved in some of their programs, running drugs nationwide, all this other stuff. This is how they caught Freeway Ricky Ross, what have you. He out there playing like he was a drug dealer, what have you. All this stuff was coming in. The man would have never grew to the rank that he grew had it not been for the U.S. government, CIA propping him up, connecting him with these people. So technically, you set him up just to bust him down. But then they took this black man who went and filed a lawsuit against the FBI. Check this out. He was so phony, I threw his book away, and like a magnet, it found its way back into my library. Not once, but twice. Because the book was garbage. Anyway, he jumped up and sued the FBI for discrimination against him because he didn't get the promotions he wanted. Okay? So in suing them, he wrote all in his book about, in the end, how he won the suitcase. I am now right where Martin Luther King wanted me to be. I am this, that, and the other. Martin Luther King got murdered by permission of the FBI. So you granting the authority of the enemy into your life. Now, my point to bringing this out is that he was so willing to side with the enemy that he invested all of himself in it. Now you can catch him talking about the commandments and all this other stuff. I'm not saying it's impossible to convert, but I am saying, like, all over CNN and all over these other places, if they calling you and you are always the commentator, you are always the sole voice that represents the black community and all this other stupid stuff, you're not real. Because the real shepherds of Yahweh, they ain't coming to them. They really plotting their death, their demise. They don't want their words heard. They don't want you listening to it. See, if we stand up as the people of Yahweh and start really keeping the commandments like we ought to, we're not interested in saving them from a rising crime rate, but our crime rate will diminish because our sons are learning some pride and honor in knowing who they are, as well as I must obey Yahweh. I have to keep this. You know, mommy, keeping these commandments ain't so bad after all. I feel much better about my life, this, that, and other. And mom gonna say something smooth like, well, you know you need a wife. And this, that, and other. And you know, Helen got a beautiful little daughter then. You might need to sit down with her and talk to her, maybe go to dinner. You know, boom. Helen's daughter got a head on her shoulder. She thinking right. You come to your senses. You thinking right. Y'all learning to serve Yahweh. Your pride is growing in Yahweh, and you're standing up. He can't help but Baruch that type of reunion. You hear me? You work. You ain't gonna cry or worry about what little you earning. You're gonna take whatever you learning and make it work. This is what black folk do best. We make a way out of no way because we serve the true and living Elohim, who said that I will never leave you nor forsake you. That's what grandma do best. Go up there and look in the cabinet. Ain't nothing up in there but dust bunnies and one half empty can. You say, well, how the can get here? It's old, baby. It's so old, it evaporated. Time she get done with it, she done whooped up a 4-course meal out of one little can in there, and everybody eat belly tight, and you burp and go to sleep. And then you wake up late night, and you hear this groaning, you hear this moaning, you hear it, and you don't know what it is, and you creep down the hall, and you look up. That's grandma on her knees praying. That's how it works. You ain't got that no more, because grandma don't get on her knees. She don't get up in the night watches no more. You know why? Because grandma 32. Grandma in the club, trying to shake it, twerking. I always do them little corny little moves, because I want you to see how stupid you look when you're twerking. Yeah, that's why people say, El John can't dance. Yeah, that's cool, but I can make a mockery of us, and we twerking and twisting. What that mean? Ain't nothing you cooking resembling what you twerking. Don't put that in no pan for me. I know all the sisters, they getting off the stripper pole right by now. You know, but that's it. Girl, get my Vaseline. I'm going to whoop him right now. They mad. That's how. Sister, we trying to save you. That's all it is. But they won't advocate that we turn to you. And I ain't saying be afraid of them. Don't get me wrong. I ain't saying don't. I was going to say, Kanye could come get me. I'd stand with him. No, I wouldn't. No. And you all come get me. I'll stand with you. I'll roll with you to the end. But no, he ain't ready yet. Kanye ever come and get in touch with me? Y'all give him my phone number. Tell him, all right, you can come talk to me, but there are rules of engagement now. You can come, you sit down, talk to me, but I'm telling you, I'm going to whip out that roll of duct tape. In fact, for your mouth, I'm going to put the gorilla tape on you. See, we got to stop you from talking. Because you just, go ahead, man. You going to come in there and talk for 10 minutes about Kim. Then you're going to fuss about Nike. Then you're going to break out rapping. Then you're going to cry. Give ear, O my people. This is Psalm 78. To my law. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old, which ye have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. We will not hide them from their children. You're going to stand up and say, we the chosen people? Declare this. Showing to the generation to come the praises of Yahweh and his strength and wonderful works that he hath done. Mother Virginia Johnson would always sing a little song. She'd get on the piano in the assembly, man. One of the greatest things I loved about coming up with those elders in the 70s. See, back in the early 70s, late 60s, I can remember I was really tiny, but I'm young enough to remember the turmoil in my neighborhood when Martin King got shot. And my mother and my sister next to me were in the window and looking, and I'm a little bitty thing. I couldn't see nothing, but you could stand at a specific angle and see up the street. You could see the trucks coming down with the troops in the back and all. And they told my mother, shut that window. You know, we remember things like that. Back then, it was not fashionable to be a Hebrew. Because you could keep the commandments and we went out faithfully just like we do here, but you didn't see nobody moving. Everything else was heathetic. We were cooking out, we were shopping, we were playing in the street. We were keeping the commandment. So wasn't a lot of Hebrews then. Wasn't a lot of people around declaring they know everybody head wrapped up super tight. That's why we suffer now. A lot of times the brother's head wrapped up so tight, he can't think. He's standing there sweating under that old towel from Bed Bath & Beyond. He getting a little delirious, and y'all think he a prophet. He getting ready to fall out. Anyway, it wasn't fashionable then. Like it. See, now everybody Hebrew. Ain't anybody waking now? Everybody woke, right? Everybody woke. Conditions ain't getting no better. We woke, but we ain't obeying. Right? See, if you wake up and you ain't got nothing to do, what's the first thing in your mind? What are you thinking? Bingo. Everybody else froze. They were all like, I'm going to tell you, it ain't hard for me. I get up, I'm like, all right, let me get dressed, let me get ready. And then Well, if I run out that door at exactly such and such time, y'all can make it. Okay, well, then that means I got 38 minutes. You know what? I might as well lay back down for them 8. Then I'll work it out with the 30. I do it. I kid y'all not. I used to just pop right up. I realize I'm getting older now, so I'll be trying to get every minute. I'll be maximizing it. Laid back down, then when my eyes popped open, and I was like, 1 minute. I shut that eye back. Now, let's be real. You and I both know that 1 minute wasn't going to make a world of difference. But psychologically, in my mind, I ain't getting up till the snooze button go off. And it works every day for me. Anyway, we have to teach the people of Yahweh and teach them in a way where they look forward to living this. Yahweh lets you live, love, laugh, have your togetherness. He lets you, you're not just keeping Torah. Shalom. Praise him. Shalom. No. I mean, come on. You get to relax yourself. Your little meals taste so beautiful. He bless your little mind. You get in there and get to cooking. You get all creative. I ain't never had that. Let me throw a little bit of this in here and see what you do. You mess the meal up and you're like, ooh, that's terrible. Then your children or somebody come along and eat that. And Mom, this is good. And then you be like, he bless you just that well. You done made a mess of a meal that somebody else come along and totally enjoy. That's the beauty of holiness in Yahweh. We just want to wake up and be the Jews and yet think we ain't got nothing to do. You all really think we're going to just stay in this condition we in and fuss and argue with America and the Jewish people and anybody else that hate us forever? One of these generations is going to be the generation to see it all unfold. One of these generations is going to be the generation to see him come back literally with their eyes. And if it ain't any of us at this time, then go to your grave knowing, though the skin worms destroy this body, yet in my flesh I know I shall see Yahweh. You got to live this in a way where you know that's true. You go to the grave with the assurance from Yahweh that that's the way it's going down and that's the way I'm getting up. That's what grandmama and granddaddy and everybody, them older generation, was crying out for. Even when they did not know his sacred name, they were pleading. And you want to know something about how just Yahweh is? Many of them prayers were heard. He had mercy. You don't give up on praying now. Kanye and Kyrie and all that, I don't know nothing about them personally, what have you, but I know this. Y'all ain't praying like you ought to pray. Because if you were praying like you ought to pray, Yahweh would put a spirit of fear and intimidation upon you to a degree that they will be afraid of you more than what they really are. You hear me? We don't know how to do it. Yahweh said, I'll put the fear and dread of you upon them. You walk somewhere, everything will get out. You ain't got to come in bad. That's right. This ain't Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor. That's right. We bad. No, that ain't what I'm talking about. It's the power of Yahweh where they know Yahweh's with them. Come on, man. We got to snap up and hop to this. He says, we will not hide them from their children, showing to the generations to come the praises of Yahweh and his strength, his wonderful works that he hath done. For he established, listen, a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Yisrael, which he commanded our fathers that they should make them known to their children. See how that works? When one learns something and pass it along and teach it, there were women here, I tried to tell them this. I said it on several occasions, and I know that they weren't receiving what I said, but I said it. I said, to convert your children to Yahweh. See, it don't make sense you keep coming and you not teach your household this. I said, to convert your children, this is what you got to say. You go home and you say, listen, call a family meeting. I did the best I could in raising you all. I didn't always know everything, and I still don't. But I didn't know Yahweh, but I know now that's the point that I missed. And this is why I'm telling you, you need to walk with me as I walk with Yahweh. This is the way. And I told those women that. You got to teach that to your children. You can't walk around, you just so self-righteous. You forgot that they are in there. They with you. They're under your roof. They're under your house. They're under your tutelage. Feast days come up. You got to keep it. You got to teach them. Do like a mother ought to do. Teach it to them. Same thing with us fathers. fathers that have been out, been absent or whatever. No, you got to get them babies to listen. Come here. Let me reestablish some lines of communication. Now, I know I ain't been the best dad. I've been a screw up or this, that, and other, but I'm on to something. I'm on to something so big that there's no amount of riches in the world that could ever cover this. And explain this to them so that at least they have a foundational start to understand the reason of your change. You hear me? This is the thing that Yahweh honors most. We don't look at it. Look, we got right here a mother, daughter, and grandmother. You don't just get like that overnight. You wake up, you learn, you realize, you spread things like that. You understand? I think y'all a little bit we got going on right here. We got grandchildren and daughter at home listening. We got people tuning in the assembly. We got a grandmother, grandfather, son, daughter, granddaughter. You teach them. Put it to them. If you're parents and you got children and your children present, you teach that to them. And you teach it in a way where they come to understand it. This ain't, look, you better off sitting in the house of Yahweh fully attentive than you are sitting in school fully attentive. See, our children get in the public school system, think they should do everything the school system do, should participate in every little thing, be in every little drama club and participate in every little part and everything. And then in the assembly of Yahweh, we be like, it's because we haven't been taught to love Yahweh. Listen to this. If Kanye and all of them got the spotlight, y'all got to use it to your advantage. Because your advantage is the advantage for all of Yisrael. Here's what it says. That the generations to come might know them, even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children, that they might set their hope in Yahweh and not forget the works of Yahweh, but keep his commandments, and might not be as their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation that set not their heart aright, whose ruach was not steadfast with Yahweh. But pay attention to this verse. The children of Ephraim, being armed and carrying bows, you want to switch it up? Being armed and carrying guns, turned back in the day of battle. They kept not the covenant of Yahweh and refused to walk in his law and forgot his works and his wonders that he showed them. See how it works? Black man got guns. Don't act like he ain't got no guns. He ain't popping off on, he ain't busting no cap in nothing. They don't know how to even assess their enemies. Right? Man, come on, man, be real. Organization, this is how white people, let's tell on them. Can I snitch? This is how white people do stuff. I want to do something horrendous to you. I'll get you. I don't like you. I know what to do. First, let me go start an organization. And this organization, we'll start and we'll keep it quiet. And I'll bring in other people that feel like I feel. They hate you. I hate your black ass. Yeah, I want to get the effect across to you. So I'm going to create this organization. We're going to study you. We're going to create these policies. We're going to plan it out. And we're going to make these booklets and things. And then we're going to create another organization. We'll funnel the books through them. And then they'll get their people together. We'll create PACs and other different types of groups. And then they'll funnel this material to those groups and all that. We'll be the brainchild here. We'll figure it all out. We'll give it to them. They'll get it all worked out and get it down. They'll get it to them. They'll get it in there and implement it as policy, this, that, and other. There'll be so many loopholes. We'll work through so many different agencies, institutions, and organizations. They'll never trace us. Then Yahweh say, oh, really? Remember, it does say, he who sitteth in the heavens shall laugh at them. Yahweh say, okay, I'll fix you. Can I trouble you? There's a book on my desk called Giants. Now watch this. Don't go buy the book. Y'all all right. Don't waste your money. I'm going to give you a quick review of this. Now, this is what Yahweh say. Okay, I'll fix you. Come here, my child. You be 6 or 7. Me? Yeah, you. I'm going to make a preacher out of you one day. There's no way. I was terrible. I was in the house terrorizing, eating up my mom and father's food, you know. My sister might have a Snickers or something. Knowing the law, thou shalt not steal, all that. I think I brought it in. It's called Giants. Might be on the desk. Okay, told her. So Yahweh say, I'm going to give you a gift. You're going to be no better than nobody else. But I'm going to give you the ability to do it in a way like nobody else can do it. I'm going to make you be able to find stuff that's sitting right in people's face and they can't find it. So I'm nosy, right? So I'm looking at their files and how they do stuff. And I'm looking at white on white violence. I interpret certain things for you all different than they just Oprah Winfrey would do it. See, this wouldn't be Giants if this is Oprah Winfrey. This would be James and the Giant Peach or something if it was Oprah. You know, this is such a beautiful book. This is so awesome. I want to play this movie when it comes out. I would like to be the Giant Peach, even though I'm a blackberry. But anyway, this is white on white violence. This is white people that's mad with other white people. And I like that because they do like we do. You know how we do when we be mad at each other? Oh, shut up. And why your mother drawers got holes in them and why your dad ain't never had no job. And you know how we do. We go at each other until we just break out in a fight, right? Or shooting. So white folk get mad with white folk for doing stuff. And they say, I know what to do. You created that organization over there, and then you created that organization, and that organization created two other organizations, and then you got all the, so it's like a quarterback. He being protected by his whole front line so that nobody can ever get through. I'll fix you. I'll tell on you. Even if nobody else knows it, I'll put it in the hands of all the right people. So see, this is the type of stuff Kanye and others need to be looking at. You need to understand, this is a planet with 8 billion people on it. Let's take a number out of 8 billion and straight out the gate say less than 25,000 people know the whole program. First of all, you're going to say 25,000. That's a lot of people. All right. Well, it's not. Exactly. It's not. Especially when you take that other number and say, well, it's 8 billion. Can we get the names and addresses of 8 billion? I doubt it. Can we come up with the names and addresses of 25,000? Possibilities are growing higher, right? So white folks is fighting with each other. They mad. So then they telling stuff in here, fussing about how to go after people in the media and how they set these different groups up so that when they want to bring somebody like a Kanye down, they throw all this money out there and get all these media organizations to go at him and fuss at it. Give him a quick interview, catch him in the supermarket and ask him a dumb question. And you know he's going to zap out and say some more stupid stuff. And the more he build it up, the more we can tear him down. So they use all this against you. Then they take their organization and they say, well, look, are you willing to sell out? I'll never sell out. Well, your rent due next month. Would you like to make your rent, pay your rent on time? I'll make out. Now you're going over here and get a job, but they done called over there and said, do not hire that man. Then they called right in and said, do not hire that man. Then they done called gas and electric company and said, look, bring his bill, triple his price, cut the lights off. Dude, all this pressure is born because it's all based on one group being in control. They are not hard to spot. And you know what makes them so easy to spot? Because Yahweh put them in the book. He put them in the book. You hear me? So groups like Trilateral Commission create specific policies. And then they funnel the policies down to different groups. And then they get these different groups to back these different politicians. And they send the money in from them. And when the politician get in office, he got this policy he got to put in place. He got to do this. He got to do that. First of all, you got to be a crook. Give me a good one. Here's the funniest one I can think of. Herschel Walker. You had sex all over the place. You did all kind of stuff. You was tying women up to the wall and duct taping them this place. You was paying for abortion. You was doing all this stuff. So we got this dirt on you. Shut up, punk, and get out there and run for office. Now, if any of these stories come up, don't worry about it. We got your back. But the stories keep coming up because it's intellectual blackmail. You might not really want to do it, but you're in it now. So you got to go because you signed on the dotted line. You took a check. And after you took the check, it got hot in the room for some reason or another. You don't know why you felt famished or something. Because what happened at that precise moment, your soul got sucked out of you and Shaitan entered in. True shooting, okay? So this is how that stuff goes. As long as they got dirt on you, you will forever be their puppet. They pull the string, you will function. You will do whatever. You do this. So if you stay small, you Yahweh's people, and you got the skills that Yahweh give you and can function the way Yahweh say function, you can function on the grid, off the grid, away from the grid, wherever you go, because they can't hurt you, because nothing means nothing to you. Billy Preston said, nothing from nothing leaves nothing. So how you going to take something from somebody that ain't got nothing? And I like people who ain't got nothing, because people who ain't got nothing left to lose. They'll go all out. You hear me? Well, I think y'all ain't no millionaire. I'll be done gave that away. You get me? They don't know how to build you up. Yahweh gave Solomon an enlarged heart. This wasn't prostate trouble. This wasn't heart. This wasn't kidney. He enlarged his heart for the love of the people. And we missed that point. So now we get rich and we rap it. And then they give us all this money. We go and buy the stupidest car in the world. Car got 320 on the dashboard, but ain't no city nowhere in America where you can drive it above 100. But you done spent $300,000 on it. Then you spent $500,000 on a chain that don't go with every outfit that you got. So now you can't wear it but once. Or you be like Mary J. Blige, where all your clothes is Dolce & Gabbana. Caballero. What's that other company? That stupid stuff? Balenciaga. Who is Balenciaga anyway? Sound like Bologniaga to me. But we chasing that instead of Yahweh, who says, if perhaps you would just feel after me, I'd let you find me. Are you hearing me? That's all you got to do. We don't listen. Let's go further. He told Yisrael to do that. What are we going to do? Follow Yahweh's commands or man's tradition? Let's go to Matthew 15. I'm going to try to be on schedule with this, but in the event I'm a few minutes over, please bear with me. Can y'all handle that? Why would I ask y'all that? Y'all do that every week. Y'all, I love y'all. Y'all bear with me every week, don't I? I'm going to wrap it up at 2 o'clock. It'd be 3:45. But y'all be patient. Y'all be sitting right here. Poor little people be right at home. They be stuck to the brother said, man, I ain't even want to walk past. I went to go get some water. My wife, sit down in front. Matthew 15:1. You got to get into this with me. I want you to hear this conversation, and I want you to hear the way Yahshua handled it. This is so beautiful. Matthew 15. Then came to Yahshua scribes and Pharisees, which were of Jerusalem, saying, why do your disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? For they don't, let me read it in English time, for they don't even wash their hands when they eat their bread. But he answered and said unto them, why do you transgress the commandment of Yahweh by your tradition? See how he put it back at them? You're worrying about them transgressing the traditions of the elders. He says, why do you transgress the tradition of Yahweh? For Yahweh commanded, saying, honor your father and your mother. See, Kanye killed his mother. What was this? She got breast lift, butt lift, something got lifted and it lowered her down. Tummy tuck. Isn't that something? What's wrong with your belly? You got a big old belly. Okay, Yahweh gave it to you. You don't like it, then you do a little exercise. You shake it down, and you keep on moving. Come on now. When did Mother Sarah? Abe? Yes, Sarah. You know, you got all these cattle and everything here now, but if you don't mind, you got anything left over? I'd like to get a breast reduction. Sarah, come on. You know what, babe? I love you. Yes, we'll go in the morning. It ain't happen like that. Just stupid, vain stuff. So you paid for it and your poor mom died. Now, you don't think you contributed to that? I bet you his mind does, because for some reason he snapped off after that. He probably was crazy anyway, but some stuff is always the mechanism that pushed the button. So I'm just being real. So watch this now. So he says, honor your father and your mother. He that curseth father and mother, let him die the death. But you say, whosoever shall say to his father and mother, it's a gift by which you might be profited of me. You know, some children think they a gift to their parent because you the best child they ever was. Oh, man, you can't even feed yourself. You ain't wipe your feet or something else. But anyway, and honor not his father or his mother, he should be free. Ain't they got children today divorcing their parents and all this stuff? And Yahshua said that they're going to have somebody you put to death. Give them a little bit of time. Thus, you have made the commandment of Yahweh of none effect by your tradition, you hypocrites. See how he talked to them? Called them names. You hypocrites. Isaiah spoke well concerning you. He says, this people doeth nigh unto me with their mouth and honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. How come everybody arguing about we the Jews won't stand up and tell who Yahweh is? This is the case. Listen, here's a new one for y'all. Write this down. ISO. L-E-L-E. Say it again. ISO. L-E-L-E. I couldn't say it. And after I heard the man say it in his accent, yeah, I was really thrown away because I could see Yahweh's name has changed in 4 weeks to 4 different things. One telling us he didn't say the name. The other telling us it's Congo. Somebody else come along. We need to stop saying whatever we saying. And then this week the man said, it's a lily. Yeah, I wonder, is it a lily? But I saw lily, whatever he said. And, you know, let me tell y'all how the devil works with Google and these phones or what have you. I was doing my report in the truck, and I went through the phone to do something, and then that came across my news feed. So I clicked on the video for a couple seconds to listen to whatever it is. And I can tell when they monitoring something I'm doing. Because when I got to get out and talk to somebody, all I got to do is just blacken the screen and leave it. It'll freeze it, and I can come back to it. Why is it when I came back to it, I couldn't find it no more? See? Because, I will get up here and use that stuff as evidence. I tell you, I don't hide nothing from y'all. As best I can, I put it out there. But I couldn't find it no more. They're singing wrong. Your children, it's your little. I was like, man, look, gave me a headache. But here, Yahshua, he didn't know. Because all these scholars that emerged inside of the last 5 years, did y'all hear me? I done cut their time frame. Inside of the last 5 years, whoever gonna save Yisrael done emerged now. Because they've been hiding in the earth. As long as I've been on the earth, they ain't never said nothing. So now all of a sudden, everybody got a new way of saying it and a new way of teaching it. That's how you know, number one, the government is behind a lot of these secret societies, these alphabet agencies, and all this stuff. They're designing it to put so much confusion out here. And we as the poor little people, we don't pray and ask like Yahweh said in the word, the priest said not, where is Yahweh? They don't ask. And you got brothers rising up now wanting to be men in the priesthood and ain't being trained by men that are in the priesthood. They don't think you know nothing. But yet you come out the church and didn't. See, this is how you stop people like that. So now, where were you 3 years ago? Before you, I was in the church. Oh, good. That's where you were. You know you were there for sure, right? Good. You're in the house of Yahweh now. Sit down. Be quiet. Take the yoke upon you and learn. Because if you're the one he called and you got to go at the appointed time, you got to go with the rules of the book. Wasn't the priesthood supposed to continually cycle them young men and teach them and bring them along? Yahweh gave an age requirement where they came in and when they went out. There are things that have to be done. Today, everybody trying to teach it. And that's why they got such a mockery of Yisrael going, because you got men that lack experience in simply learning of Yahweh. Did you hear what I said? They lack the experience in learning of him. I ain't said teaching. There's an experience in learning of something. When you learn how to pronounce the name, how to track it, how to prove it in scripture, how to lay, that's profound. You'd be like, I never knew that scripture was sitting right there all along. You know, that's interesting. Sometimes you don't need nothing but the book to beat them. But the brothers won't even sit down and hear you with the book, but yet they want to run and act like they know. When I was young, getting started in my trade, I got fired a couple of times. But every time I got fired, I learned something going down the road. So, okay, remember what I did. If I get me another job, I won't do that no more. I've seen bricklayers get fired because they didn't know how to hang a line. You got this thing called the line dog. You got to twist that line around it, turn it twice, and pull it. Put it up quick. Brother was down there fiddling around. And the foreman's like, the hell are you down there doing? Put that line up, bricklayer. But the brother didn't know how to tie it. He walked down there. I've been waiting 5 minutes to see them lay brick. Put the line up. What you? Get that bag. Come with me. Anybody that's been out in the field know what that means. So he getting fired. You thinking he gonna take you, move you to another location. They don't need you no more because you can't hang the line up. It's time is money. So they on the pace, on the clock. I've seen a man get fired pulling a trowel out of the bag. Wrong. Did I just see you pick that trowel up by the blade? Come here. Sent them down the road. You know why? Because he's a safety hazard. The blade is sharp. By pulling it out instead of getting it by the handle, the man, he's a safety hazard. He be done cut himself and didn't want to sue us. Come here, you go. So I got fired as a young man for different stuff. So you learn, don't do that no more. You can't teach the young men today that claim they know Yahweh. The older men can't say nothing to them because they sensitive. How you 40 years old and a crybaby? Somebody say something to you, you offended. I ain't the one you want to be around once I learn you offended. But see, I got to toughen you up now. Then I got to see whether or not you can stand under the pressure of it, what have you. And if you fold, okay, you ain't the one. Gone. Preaching is a proclamation. You are proclaiming the word of Yahweh. And it gets confrontational sometimes. Ask the apostles. They beat them. They threatened them. The prophets. Come on, man. Who was it? Jeremiah? Ezekiel. He was old. 90 years old. Instructing a younger man. He went off about it. Just like these old young punks today. Spaz out about the least little thing. Hit the man in the head with a stone. Crushed his skull. Can you believe that? They hated Yahshua for talking straight to him. This people draw nigh to me with their mouth and honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. And he called the multitude and said unto them, hear this and understand it. It's not that which goes into the mouth that defiles a man, but that which cometh out of the mouth. This defileth a man. Then his disciples came unto him and said, you do know that the Pharisees were offended after they heard this saying. I like that part. You know they was offended by what you said, right? Yahshua didn't go off on them, zap out. He simply said, every plant that my heavenly Father has not planted shall be rooted up. Leave them alone. They're blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. Ain't that how he told them? So here, poor little brothers rising up, wanting the truth, but not willing to pay the cost of receiving it fully. Because you might have to give up that job, ripping and running with the NBA and all. You might have to give that up. If you are a wise man and you're getting a salary like that, which is above average of what your black brothers and sisters are getting, you got it made. You got more than they got. You can set yourself up and structure yourself in a way where even if you spend it down in your lifetime, at least you won't die broke. But yet you've given away or put it to a position where you can make things work for your people. We have to think like that. You know how we thinking? I want to be rich, shoot. I want to be this, that, and other. Please, I wouldn't want that kind of money. You know why? Ask that woman right there. Because she has complained a lot with me. Can't go nowhere with you because you know people everywhere you go. We down Florida. Had to stop talking to somebody. No. Down here. Point. That kind of money brings problems. Trouble. Kidnapping. Not that anybody would kidnap me. Can you imagine somebody kidnapping me? You know what? Do me a favor. Where you get him at? So we got him at something, do me a favor. Take him back. Hurry up. Drop him off. Don't even stop the car. Just push him out. Come on, I'm just being real. So that kind of money brings that kind of trouble. You get rid of it. Just like we do the word. Y'all would give me a revelation, I get rid of it. I get it off me by telling it to you all. And put it on the channel. You go look at it. You can back up and look. Look, we couldn't rewind Moshe talking to us. We were all there with eyewitnesses. Now let's be real with ourselves now. Because you all know after it was all over said and done, what did we do? We still messed it up. Even though we all lived it out. We saw the cloud. We saw the sea stand up. We saw the miraculous way in which he fed us as a people. Wasn't no internet. See, you know, Yahweh knows when he let them bring all this technology and stuff into play, right? Because see, imagine Kanye back there as the children of Israel coming up out of Egypt with all that mouth he got. Now here Moshe stood there and argued with Pharaoh in a great heat and left out, right? Now here we getting ready to go, keep Passover and everything. Here go Ye down there wanting to fuss with Pharaoh at the last minute, running his mouth, right? Come on, man. Y'all know. Yahweh knows the moment to bring us all in. So sometimes you got to talk to us this way to embarrass us, to make us even attempt to stand up and live right. You hear what I'm saying? We used to play football in the street, ducking and dodging people's cars. You stop and let the traffic go through, keep on playing. My father said, why in the world y'all playing in the street? You got the whole field around. They're going to go on up, duckers, and play up there, playing in the middle of the street, ripping and running, chasing a basketball. I was like, it's a football, Dad. Or whatever it is. Running around, chasing, playing in the street. Make your feet big. So now I'm scared. What? Make your feet big. Here's what I learned. Whatever your body weight is, when you are running, you're doubling down on that body weight. And in some instances or cases, as Shaq, too much running and jumping and what have you, all that weight swells things up. Make your feet big. Oh, man had a point. I was like, wow. Now, listen, it took Google and stuff like that to be invented before I realized it. My father had been in the ground 20-something years. And one day I'm just happening to be Googling that, and I'm reading the story on exercise, and I look up and I said, wow, the old man was right. He scared me. He said all that stuff, make your hands and your feet big out there, catching that old ball, slamming up in your hand, swallow them up, make them big. I'm thinking, we can't do nothing as Hebrews. You know, that's how children, you know, as a child, you always mouth off. You think that just the things that Yahweh bless us to do are restrictive when it comes to world foolishness. And the reality is we can do a lot as Hebrews. We just can't sin. So then Shaitan come along and make sin so attractive. That's what you want to do. And when you got one of them one of them tough, stubborn parents that ain't gonna let you sin, you get mad. We can't do nothing. I can't. You're always mad. So you can't really be happy about much of nothing. Devil come along after you sitting alone, you're in your room, you're mad, pouting, whatever, and devil come along.
So, she said you can't go to that party, huh? Oh, you know, I ain't trying to tell you what to do, but you can always raise this window up and slide down the pole and come on back. She won't never know you're gone. That's how the devil works. Now, I know what y'all think. Eldon, how you know that? Until that, I'll say, mind your business. But that's how it works. So when our parents love us, they teach us. But see, the Pharisees were offended because he said it. Just like Kanye and them, they would be offended hearing me say this. Y'all got permission to share it because they do need to hear it. How y'all going to come with all these DVDs, all these links? You can talk to people, they'll send you a link quick. See, I'm old school. I want this. Because I know once I buy this from you and get it off your shelf, you ain't going to magically hack this. See, I ain't going to take this home, put it in the library, and I'm looking at page 231, and then I make a note of it. Then I go back, and then they done magically hack page 231. Okay, 230, 232. There's 231. No. That's why I keep stuff that's in print. Okay, now, you know, the devil, they get mad and they burn your stuff down or they steal it or take stuff. There's always a way. But then Yahweh got an even better way. Some of us, he give us that photographic memory. We can see that stuff one time and it's with us forever. You hear me? We have to learn how to serve him. Y'all gonna fight with a group of people. Let's go back and listen to Yahshua's fight with these people. I want you to hear how he describes something. If I got a few minutes, I'm gonna jump into something. I want you to hear something Yahweh said to Solomon. But anyway, let's go to Revelation chapter 2, verse 8. Now, this is where the brothers have to calm down because he kept giving messages to the shepherds, to the pastors, to the malak of the assemblies. Those men, those shepherds, they call them the angels. They were the messengers of Yahweh, or a pastor. a shepherd. You understand? This is why the chapter keeps saying, and unto the angel of the assembly. It wasn't an angel. It was a messenger, the pastor, the one overseeing that. Listen to Yahshua's discussion. This is Revelation 2:8. And unto the messenger of the assembly in Smyrna write, these things saith the first and the last, which was dead and is alive. I know your works in tribulation and poverty, but you're rich. Didn't I tell you you all are rich? Okay. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Yahudim and are not, but are of the synagogue of Shaitan. Want a quick history lesson? Y'all ready for this? Check this out now. Check this out. Everybody know who Gog and Magog is, right? Everybody know that stuff. There's a group of people, they were doing their thing up in Ukraine. They were getting down, doing all stuff they was doing. They was siding with the West. They was rolling with all this. Putin was like, hey, y'all, now look, check this out. You know that land you're living in was ours anyway. Back the Bolsheviks and all this other stuff. We kept fighting over this, that, and other. It's really our land. So, you know, I'm going to tell you one time, you rolling with the West, and the West going to come over here and try to do this, that, and the other to us. We're not going for it. So keep that crap over there, but I'm giving you fair warning. Don't piss me off because I will come over there and get you. That's how it went down. Okay. Now, when you start talking about an assembly versus a synagogue, then you have to understand what nihilism is. I can never say that word right. You got to breathe right. It's the nihilism. 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 It is a non-religious, non-moral, non-righteous form of looking at the world. Nihilism. Where everything is like, eat, drink, be merry, for tomorrow we could be dead. So get down with the get down, do what you do. That's a specific way of life. When they set them synagogues up, they didn't set them up just to worship and to praise the Most High. All the sins of God were practiced from that place. You have to understand that definitive of a word like that, okay? So when all of the people suddenly decide, well, we're going on back home, if she did, and this one and that one, and she getting ready to kick the bucket, and he coming, he gonna take the throne from us, he gonna take the country from us. You know what? I'm going on back home. He said, hey, don't come up here with that. And then the bombs started falling. You understand where I'm going with this? So now Yahshua warned us that these are not people that are Yahudim, but are of the synagogue of Satan. Why did Yahshua say this if there was nothing to it? Or did he say it and there's more to it than we obviously understand? Let's go on, because he explained something to us that we should all know. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. This is what Kanye going through right now. He's hurting. He's in fear because he said he wouldn't even take the medication the doctor prescribed for him and everything else because he knew if he took it, something else would have happened. When you get that high that all the people you know don't look like you, then you should be in fear. You have enough trouble trusting a black doctor or whatever it is, but at least get somebody that you know got a little level of conscience or something that can help you when you got to deal with people in medical situations. We make this mistake over and over and over. Khalid Muhammad got shot by James Best. James Best acknowledged that he was paid by a group of people running an organization called the JDL. You have the Anti-Defamation League. This is the way it works. This group, they don't fight. They listen to everything everybody's saying to see if you're speaking against them and are going to defame them. If they think you are deemed a worthy enough threat, they call the killers, the hitmen, the Jewish Defense League. This was what put the hit on Khalid Muhammad and others. You and I have to know things like that, because unless we understand it, then you can't whoop them, because they call out their boys who are the murderers. They are the mafia. They are their version of killers and all this other stuff. Kanye, you ain't built like that. I'm known in Baltimore for an expression, and I've said it before. The minister know me, the think tank know, other people. We would go out and protest or go out and organize the people and do things, and I would always check the men. So wait a minute. Anybody here ever shot anybody? The brothers was like, oh, what's that? All right. Anybody ever stabbed anybody? But how you ask me that? Have you been in a good fist fight? Have you bust somebody's nose? Brothers be, well, bro, can you fight? And I would ask them because, see, sometimes them folks will confront you. Last thing you want is to be out there teaching, preaching, mouth and all, and you look up and your whole army I gotta work. Well, I'm gonna go get some gas. I'll be right back, okay? Wait a minute, grandma calling me. I heard the phone ring. So, man, you ain't got no cell phone. No, it was the phone booth 7 blocks away. So I'm gonna go back and call her and check and make sure everything. I've seen it, okay? So when you get up and you woofing at people, you want to be site specific. You don't send no sniper out. Oh, well, what am I hitting, Captain? Shoot the crowd. Sniper is specific, right? So our brothers out just the Jews. Let's be real. Some of them little bitty people out there, they ain't into politics and all this other stuff. They've been so deluded. They really think they are the chosen people, and they are sincere in thinking what they thinking. Then they hear you mouthing and woofing on, so then they tell them, he's anti-Semitic. So then they automatically, he's against us. He's Now you like him and don't even know what he's talking about. They assume you rolling with him. You understand how this goes? So misinformation just continues to go on, and we are never given an opportunity to explain our side. I take this position. I ain't interested in explaining my side to you no damn way. Don't get in arm reaching me, because I'm that type. I'm subject to go off. Fits of rage or whatever the case you can call it. Don't be too close to me, because I'm nervous like you. I learned one thing in life. If you get nervous, ain't but one way to cure it. Swing. Telling you straight out the gate. Anybody here ever been stole? Mine would be the first to howl, yup. I heard that bass from the back, yup. It's not a good feeling. People, you say something about my mother? This was in school. I ain't say nothing about your mother. Bah! Your response was the signal to them as to whether or not you were afraid. You ain't even had to say nothing. The response will be, yeah, what about it? I ain't say nothing. Boop. So I got stolen enough in life where I know when a person's voice or speech pattern gets unacceptable to me, I have a heightened alert, and I'm gonna do something about it. That's just me. I ain't telling y'all to do it. I'm saying it's me. So don't come yelling if you see me in the street. I'm anti-Semitic and I'm anti this, that, and other. I'm anti-violence. And I understand if your voice gets at an unacceptable level, I'm gonna be the first one to do it, because George Bush taught me this word: preemptive strike. You see, the children of Israel, they're not being taught that, but that's in the book, Deuteronomy 20. See, they don't tell us stuff like that, that sometimes you will have to defend yourself, earthly. We get afraid to do it because people teach us, well, no hitting. No white person, no one in face earth can tell a black person, no hitting, because you should get hit right then and there, because you are a member of the most violent, most martial people on the planet. You can't tell nobody to be nonviolent. Come on, man. So now he says, fear none of those things which you shall suffer. Behold, the devil, hold it now. Is the devil an evil spirit that can't be seen? Or is it dwelling in somebody? And the proper use of the word is an adversary. Because it does say the devil shall cast some of you into prison. Stop. All right, who got the authority to lock you up? Don't hunt me. Say it, name it. Oh, really? Is that what's on the side of the building? Devil's children? It says police department. There you go. He's devil's children. Now you can have me go around looking for police department just to see is it on the wall. Devil's children. Every week, we're going to move his seat. I'm going to put him on that back row back there. Nah, I'm just messing with you. And I'm not saying all police are devils, but I ain't pulling no Herschel Walker either. I ain't pulling out no badge I got out the cereal box. I'm with him. Y'all seen him do it, right? You seen him do it? Okay, long as y'all seen it, just pull it out. I'm with him. Yeah, you with him, but you better keep in mind you do kind of look like Rodney King. You might want to be cool. Get one or two of them that done seen the tapes and have a flashback. He that hath an ear, no, pardon me. He says, the devil shall cast some of you into prison that you may be tried and have tribulation 10 days. You can get a sentence out of them quick, 10 years. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the assemblies. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. That's all you worried about. We can't overcome it if we're not taught how to acquire the overcoming material. Just saying we the Jews ain't good enough. We look up and realize we are sons and daughters of those 12 tribes of Yisrael. See, brothers hollering, we the Jews, ask them, say, hey, man, do me a favor. Take a test real quick. Give me the names of the other 11. No, give me 10. I make it easy on you. You know what? Give me 5. Watch and see. They ain't gonna know none of them. Because they think all Israelites are Jewish. Newsflash, not a single Israelite anywhere in the world is Jewish. You understand? You cannot say, yeah, man, you are really quite Johnsonish. I don't need to be like myself. I am me, right? We don't learn the definitions and the meanings of these words, man. So we have to know that. Let's go to Revelation 3:7. He says something similar again. And unto the messenger of the assembly in Philadelphia write, these things saith he that is Kodesh, he that is true, he that hath the key of David, he that openeth and no man shutteth, and shutteth and no man openeth. So the door is wide open. All we got to do is walk therein. I know your works. Behold, I've set before you an open door, and no man can shut it. Stop right there. So let me see if I got this straight. Yahshua says, I have set before you an open door, and no man can shut it. Then coming to the knowledge of who you are ain't got nothing to do with getting mad with no Jews. If they can't shut the door and it's opened unto you and I, all we got to do is keep the commandment. You ain't ever got to have an argument with no Jewish person nowhere on this earth. You really want to hurt their feelings? You do them like Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah did the king of Babylon. You say, look here, man, I ain't even concerned to answer you in this matter. I keep the Torah of Yahweh the way he says do it, and I don't need no tutelage, no assistance, or no help from you. Who are you that I even need to hear you? You ain't got to argue with them. There was a place I used to go here in Baltimore to buy the Shabbat candles. Oh, why do you want these? I said, well, first of all, do you have something better now that you asked me that question? Well, I'm just saying, because if you're using these for dinner can, I said, well, no, I'm not using them for dinner can. I think I know the ones I want. Again, unless you got something better in the back, I'll take 2 boxes of that. Man, I ain't give up no more information than he needed. Yeah, I keep Sabbath, I'm this, I'm that. Shut up. Black man walk in your store, you automatically think he gonna rob you. You go in there with a knot this thick. They think you coming in to rob them. Oh, man, come on. You are afraid because you have robbed so many people in your policies, your planning, and all this other stuff. You are afraid that as you have done, it shall be done unto you. So pretty soon, when I start seeing other places where you could buy a Shabbat candle and they had to have no contact with them, what do you think I did? Cut them right out the picture. Our people here in Baltimore, they like to run and shop at the 7 Mile Market because it's a big Jewish market, got a lot of stuff. Look, let me explain something to you in case you don't know this. Don't be fooled by that word kosher, whatever it means. You ain't gonna make no pig kosher unless the word kosher already means something bad anyway. I ain't never found it in the book. You get my point? I ain't never found kosher nowhere in the scripture. See, they'll use a word and then we all fall right in line with it. Don't even know what it means a lot of times. These people done blessed pigs. They done did pig transplants in Israel and other places. Hey, man running around. Now, you know the scripture said, touch not, taste not, handle not the unclean thing. Who was this surgeon that took this out of that one, took your heart out of you, put the pig heart in you, then jumpstart you, and you get up months later walking around feeling good. Your wife, hun, how you feel? I'm all right. I smell bacon, and for some reason or another, I want to eat some slop. And we think we did something great. We got to watch them. I'm serious. That's the birthday. Everybody wants to shop up there at 7 Mile. It's nice. It's a serious market. It's big. And hear what I'm saying. I'm not saying don't go there. But I am saying don't go there with it in your mind like, oh, these are Yahweh's people. Everything here is perfect. It's this, it's that, it's good. No. Like you would do at Walmart or at Sam's Club or give me a highfalutin store. You can tell what kind of. All right, Target. We go Target. Yeah. It sounds highfalutin if you can say it like they do in France, right? You know, other than people say, where you would get that shirt from? Oh man, I bought this at Target, man. It's from France, man. It's wow. Must cost a lot of money. Yeah, man. It's a French shirt. You walk up the street. Man, he told me he bought that shirt from Target. Man, you can't even say Target. But they get me 4 of them. But at any rate, we're in the world. They have control over the whole earth right now. And even they are getting sick of them. Remember, I was holding this up, y'all. Get you understand? Even they getting sick of them. The man went and profiled the biggest, wealthiest corporations in the world, and then the organizations that back them up. Sometimes people do the research for you, and then you just got to look at it and incorporate it into your life and living style in a way where you know and understand certain things. When Kanye had that fight with Adidas and Balenciaga and all stuff, first thing I did was I went to the board of directors because I want to see something. I just want to see how many people on them boards is Jewish. I wasn't really expecting to see no black people. When I seen Jorna Kersey and I realized or whatever it is, I was like, now this is interesting. Then I went back and checked out the vote process that they use, and I was like, oh, woo-wee, this make a lot of sense now. And people around talking about, yeah, because he told the truth. Kyrie told the truth. Now, wait a minute, y'all. Ain't even one of them say nothing. Nothing salvational. Nothing that relates to salvation where you hadn't heard them speak or fight with them. Then the next day you woke up and, oh, man, I'm glad he said that. I never thought about that. Woo-wee, I'm on the way to salvation now for sure. What did he say? He ain't say nothing. Did y'all learn anything from it? If you're going to tell Yahweh's people anything, Minister Johnson got this. If you're going to say anything that captures the attention of the children of Yisrael, here's what you do. Point the women in the direction of Isaiah chapter 3, verses 10 through 26. Because Yahweh warned the women when they get these stink attitudes and you get so self-righteous and you get so high and holy, so far above it, he warned them what he would do to them and how he would bring them down. Now, when you look at the black woman in America today and pretty much a lot of different places around the world, you'll see, as the minister read that scripture today, how these conditions are upon us. Even right down to little things like instead of a girdle, it'd be a rope. Instead of a sweet smell, there'd be stench. He broke all this down. Baldness upon your head. Make your hair fall out because you got so many problems. I'll worry you to death. I'll let this come upon you, that come upon you. You won't even wear a proper or decent pair of panties. You'd rather have a thong. Or is it called? A rope. You understand? So these types of things have hit or have fallen upon our women. If you're going to say anything, point them to that and let them see it. If you're going to say anything to the men, then point them to Isaiah chapter 42, preferably beginning right around verse 18 through 25. Because in there, Yahweh warned Israel's men about what would happen to them. You're so disobedient. You will not walk with me. You will not obey. I will let you be arrested, hidden in prison houses. You'll be there for a snare, for a spoil, and no one will deliver you. I will leave you there. And this is a sign that you are who I say you are. You are my people. Hey, look, if it's Jewish men and you want to use the word as Hebrews and Jewish men, okay, then Jewish men is locked up. I don't use the term. But if you're going to use it, then Judah is locked up. Issachar is locked up. Dan is locked up. All them different tribes. This is before other folks came in and brought their polluted bloodline in there now so that don't nobody know. Yahweh knows. We don't need Ancestry.com to get us. All right? We don't need them. They just want to know who you are, want to know if you know. What do you mean? Do you? What is what I know got to do with you? Do you know what I'm thinking now? You got to talk to them like that sometimes. Do you know what I'm thinking right about now? Because if you know what I'm thinking, you get back about 6 to 8 feet. I'm dead serious. I get nervous when people around talking that stupid stuff to me. I ain't going out like that. I stand up and I talk back with the Torah. This ain't about arguing with them. Kanye could have ignored them and did whatever it was he's supposed to been doing and do for your people. And don't worry about getting no accolades and none of that stuff. Y'all will see every move you make. This is crazy. Kyrie Irving is worth about $90 million. Kanye is now worth, officially, they say about $400 million. And that ain't cash. They done counted the dookie ropes, the diamonds, and all the other stuff, the property, the real estate, and all of that. And it comes down even lower than roughly about $253 million. The rest of that stuff, they counting as property. So if you are a billionaire and somebody just say some words in the media and bust you down, who goes in your bank account, snatch your money out because you're talking? What was that, a fine? With no court proceeding and nothing? They just no, that's not how it works. He never had that. So look, even Elon Musk bought Twitter the other day. How much did he borrow to buy Twitter? But yeah, he's a billionaire, 100 billion or more. But he borrowed some money to buy Twitter. Twitter cost $44 billion. How much did he borrow? Okay, good. Don't nobody really know. Don't matter no way. But he borrowed $25 billion. Okay? So now, see how billionaires can function and do stuff that you and I can't? But then you stand right there and Forbes will tally it up based upon a contractual agreement you got. You got to sell tennis shoes for 10 years and not lose in your ranking and all this other stuff to even get that kind of money. So you talking about, I lost $2 billion. You never had it. They pumped you up on artificial air. You remember them old fake tennis shoes everybody used to wear, the Nike with the ball, you pump them up? And all the brothers buying them thinking they really made them play better? And, y'all kind of quiet. Man. Don't tell me y'all fell for it. Watch you brothers, boy. Be around playing ball. Get down there, pump them shoes up. It's a man, look, we're going to play ball or not, man. Man, I'm coming. You got to pump them up about 187 times. And then can't even do a layup. I'm going to take these back tomorrow. No, brothers. They pumped Kanye West up the same way. When all the children of Israel go to do is just say, look here, brother, man. Calm that nonsense down. Come here, man. We're going to hold prayer together. Because we see what you're going through. We know you're angry about it, what have you. Some stuff now, we really do have to calm down. You hear what I say? You have to calm down. You got to argue with them. Who are they? Leave them alone. They think they all that. That's fine. I went in the store the other day. The sister had her hair done, a weave and everything. And the stuff that I went to go buy, she was the cashier at that register. And she kept fussing, saying, I'm going to go on break. I keep on hold me up right here. So I'm thinking to myself, saying, I don't want to get in the line with this nasty woman. So you know what I did? Turned back around and I kept walking the store a little while, just hoping, all right, with her relief. Please, let her go on break because I ain't even want to get in line. See, people like that, they are so self-centered. They think any and everybody want them. So you can't get in line, good evening, good afternoon, do this and that, because they just, Yahweh's word says we will be lovers of ourselves more than lovers of Yahweh, lovers of pleasure, all this other stuff. So I didn't want to be bothered. So when the relief and all the other stuff wouldn't come, I did the next best thing just to not deal with it. I put everything down and just left. Drove a couple miles out of the way, went to another store, got the same stuff and even better, and went on home. See, sometimes you have to go out of your way to avoid people that you don't need that type of relationship with. And that's what we have to do with the Jewish community. All that other old nonsense, black Jewish relation, everything has always been a trick. The black NAACP was founded by a couple of black people and a bunch of Jewish people. So how does that help us? The National Urban League, same damn thing. So how does your black organizations get owned by black people? No. And it was garbage and BS until R. Kelly got the Image Award. Well, if you give R. Kelly one, you might well give Jeffrey Epstein one. Y'all don't like that. I'm not backing up off of it, though. Okay? Don't come to me, tell me you don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. Don't do it. Don't do it. We got to correct all evil in our community. Don't care what it is. We got to correct it all. We have to say something. We have to bring it up. That's why Yahweh said, I will give you shepherds that will feed you with knowledge and understanding. So keep that in mind if you're going to do it. See, instruction from Yahweh to Yisrael will only come through, hear me on these words, the chosen, the called, and established men of Yahweh. If he chose them from the foundation of the world. At the time he see fit, he called them. And when he called them, he established them. Yahweh always shows the evidence of his establishing a man by putting his ruach upon him in such a way he knows and understands things. He lives and abides by the Torah. It's in his life. His words are not learned or pretentious. His behavior and his activity is not puffy and filled up with pride or anything. He doesn't mind if he says a word wrong or he ain't got the wealth and the riches. He got the raggedy, his automobile, the home, what have you. He has the love of Yahweh with him. And he wants Yahweh's people to fall in line. That's what a good shepherd is going to do. It ain't about just arguing with people. You don't argue with no Jewish people. We were someplace, my children were at a little community center or something years ago, and a doctor here in Baltimore, Dr. Robert Solomon, little freaky dude, told children, yes, and we'll work these things out. And remember, I love you. But it was the way he said it. Me and my wife were there at the little meeting, and I was like, you don't hear white men say that too often to us. Okay, cool. But it sent chills down my spine. About a year later, he was up on child sexual molestation charges. Jewish doctor. Right here. And all I could say to myself, knew it. You could feel it. This is where we make our mistake, arguing with people that are not spiritual. Billy Joel understood that in the middle of the night. Had a song, said, I know I'm searching for something so undefined, something somebody stole right out of my soul. I know I'm walking and looking in the dark. I'm searching for something that can only be seen by the eyes of the blind in the middle of the night. They got a spirit too. And that spirit is sometimes so deceptive that just like our brothers and sisters sit up and cry the stuff out and we don't pay no attention to it. Little brother on the job explained to me the other day, a whole hour just following me around. Talking to me, get this, an old man, talking to me about takeover, getting killed. Take off. Pardon-moi. I can't get them names. Take off. And he from the group, right? The amigos or whatever it is. Yeah, he following me around on the job. We trying to pour concrete, getting everything set up. Got topsoil coming in, trying to fill a hole in. He just talking. Yeah, because see, you had to see it, man. And you got to see it from the way I seen it. So in listening to him in the first 15 minutes, I ain't know. So I'm like, you was down there? Where was you when this was here? You know, you know the word he used. No, it was such a thing. Man, that's all over the news. Don't you watch the news? I'm like, say it again. So he just following me around, telling me about the scenery. So, man, he told it and described it so well, I see it now. And I wasn't even there. And when it really hit me, boy, you crazy. You out here learning a trade. And you can't do this. But you done solved the murder of, take off. I'm gonna write that down right now. And not to mock them, but let's be real. Take off, got taken out. And brothers in Baltimore, they got the evidence of the conspiracies and all that. Last night, I was talking to the minister and the deacon about this, and I kept bringing up these bad examples, trying to make a good point, but every point that I brought out was a bad example. Like I said, see, ain't nobody shoot Marvin Gaye for singing What's Going On, but then I thought about it, Marvin Gaye did get shot to death, you know. So I said, well, see, ain't nobody shoot Sam Cooke for singing. Wait a minute. Sam Cooke got shot too. So every time I bring up an example about people singing in the what we would call the olden days, I was trying to bring out how they were singing about love songs and how to come together and unification and all that. But I kept using these bad examples. And I was like, maybe that's because we really weren't singing praise to Yahweh anyway. To sing praise to Yahweh, you got to let go. You got to really feel it. Give yourself over. That last song Sister sang and he played today, I watched her hand. I've studied that keyboard so well. I can find every note that she hit so I can match her. I don't want to play ahead of her or anything, but I was looking at it and I was like, ooh, I can almost be proud of myself. But I know brother going to play it back for me and I'm going to hear it where I'm off on a note or two and then I'm going to be sad. But the point, put yourself into it when you praise Yahweh. See, if Earth, Wind, and Fire can put themselves into it and get on stage and sing, and people be fainting and falling all out, and Tina dead. I'm gonna say Aretha. Everybody trying to think of dead. Anyway, they throw these concerts and people be, oh, that's my song, and all this. Why can't the praise of Yahweh elicit that same feeling from us, but only in righteousness? You hear what I say? We should feel that. He's going to serenade you when everybody's brought back. Scripture say he shall rejoice over you with singing. You ain't heard no singing till you hear Yahweh do it. You hear what I'm saying? I just get my little grandbaby and sing to him, man. Get them in my arm, and they was little. They too big to be picking them all up now. I would get them and sing to them same way, man. I tried to watch the news the other day. My little man there, I pulled my phone out. I had to shoot this picture because I knew what he was doing. So I'm sitting down watching the news, and I feel something feeling around up here, right? I know he ain't playing in my ball spot. I whipped the phone out, I set it on, eased it out, and hit it, and let the timer run. And then the last minute, I raised it up in there and shot the picture. He looking at the news, twirling right here in this ball spot. I said to myself, that's love. Because I can't even watch the news and go ball in peace all at the same time. And I'm bringing that out to make a point. Just as little children, you love your grandparents, and you as grandparents, you love your children, and as parents, you love your children and grands and all that. Yahweh feels the same way for all of us. And he feels that way even more when we obey. And that's the secret. That's how you make it in. Don't be looking at the death of people in the name of Yahweh as just, well, they gone now. They were being prepared like everybody else. They're sleeping in the dust until the time comes. Don't matter how long they've been in this earth, the body's done mortified, decayed, rusted, everything, bones, everything, whatever they done gone away. Yahweh gonna call that DNA together, everything bone to its bone, everything gonna get up. Just like spiritually in Ezekiel 37, he called us bone to its bone. We're gonna awaken. I do give them credit. Kanye and Kyrie, they read it, they saw it, whatever, they were excited by it. But because they didn't know, it's now our duty to say, hey, soldier, wait a minute, we all got to fall in line. You're not a general in this. You're not fit for the generalship. So, brother, get up, get in line. Let's call on Yahweh like we ought to. Because if we pray like we ought to pray, Yahweh will fight for us as his people. Closing scripture. Let's go to 2 Chronicles chapter 7. I know you all hear people read this all the time, but let's go to 2 Chronicles chapter 7. I'm going to start right there, verse 11. I want to quickly break this down. You need to understand this. Too many times we're reading the scripture and we're just saying words, but we're not really understanding what took place unless y'all would command somebody, go there and explain that, break that down. I might not remember the names of the rappers, but I guarantee you, I can remember these scriptures and I ain't getting them wrong. Chapter 7, verse 11. Thus Solomon finished the house of Yahweh and the king's house, and all that came into Solomon's heart to make the house of Yahweh and in his own house, he prosperously effected. And Yahweh appeared to Solomon by night and said unto him, I've heard your prayer and have chosen this place to myself for an house of sacrifice. If I shut up heaven that there be no rain, or if I command the locusts to devour the land, or if I send pestilence among my people, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways. That's a 4-step instruction, okay? Then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. It ain't America. So we got to pray that y'all will heal our land and put us there. You know you are bad people anytime the land mourns because you're gone. You hear me? If Bill Withers get up and make it into the kingdom and the resurrection, he got to rewrite his own song. Because see, the land over there treats it like ain't no sunshine because Yisrael gone. And my little house just ain't a home. You get it? The land is suffering because you ain't home. You got me? Let's go a little further. Now mine eyes shall be open and mine ears attentive unto the prayer that is made in this place. So Yahweh says, I'm listening. For now have I chosen and sanctified this house, that my name may be there forever. And mine eyes and mine heart shall be there perpetually. And as for you, if you will walk before me as David your father walked, and do according to all that I've commanded you, and shall observe my statutes and my judgments, then will I establish the throne of thy kingdom, according as I have covenanted with David your father, saying, there shall not fail thee a man to be a ruler in Yisrael. But if you turn away and forsake my commandments and my statutes, which I set before you, and shall go and serve those gods and worship them, then will I pluck up by the roots out of my land that which I have given them. And this house which I have sanctified for my name will I cast out of my sight, and I will make it to be a proverb and a byword among all nations. See, not just are we a proverb and a byword, but the very land, the very house where Yahweh established it, thus giving proof. We ain't there because we ain't do right. Arguing with them ain't solving the problem. That's displaced anger. That's displaced aggression. Yahweh said that when Yisrael come to their senses, they will look at themselves for their sins, according to Ezekiel, and you shall loathe yourselves. Because you look up and realize, I did all this. Here I was, the chosen one. Come on, man. Can I go on? And this house, which is high, shall be an astonishment to everyone that passes by it. So that he shall say, why hath Yahweh done this unto his land and unto this house? And it shall be answered, because they forsook Yahweh Elohim of their fathers, which brought them forth out of the land of Egypt, and laid hold on those gods and worshiped them and served them. Therefore, he hath brought all this evil upon them. You tell me that don't fit us? Come on, man. What in the world we arguing with the Jewish community for? We keeping the Shabbat. The sun rise on us as Hebrews keeping the Shabbat, just like it rises on you as Jews claiming you keep it. Well, I don't need no more of the sunlight from you than you need it from me. So if you don't like me or you got secret hatred and different things, then you go on over and stay your butt over there where you at. I'll stay over here where I'm at. Now I'm giving you the rules. Y'all like to give rules? We giving you the rules. Come over here with your nonsense. You be all right. You bring that nonsense over here, you might not go back home. We have to learn how to defend that which Yahweh has given us, which means even his word. You are dealing with a sick people. Anytime somebody don't even want you to simply pass down the beauty of this way of life to your children, that's sheer evil. And when you come to the knowledge of it and realize that the power of Yahweh is all around so that you don't need them, guess what? It ain't even an argument no more. You ain't got nothing to say to them. I come through Park Heights all the time. I don't pay them people no mind. Come on, man. You ain't my friend. You ain't my buddy, my homeboy. I ain't gonna diss you, but you ain't gonna diss me either. And I ain't got to stand here and argue with you. I'm a Hebrew. Sometimes conversations with people work out best when you understand what you're in and can reverse it. You hear me? when you can reverse it. The woman started talking to me the other day about some politics and some more stuff. Well, see, that's just some stuff and see, they think all black people vote Democratic. So I was having to mention about Social Security. I'm talking to somebody else. Yeah, I've seen an article in the paper about Social Security the other day. So when I get a chance, I got to sit down and read it, see what they're saying. Oh, that's just some malarkey that the Democrats made up. They want their people to believe that they're going to take away Social Security and all this. So now I learned something from the conversation and heard with that one or two sentences. Okay, here's what I learned. Number one, I already know you're white. Number two, you're a dyke. Number three, now I learned you are a Republican. So you should have kept your mouth shut to me, because see, for me, that's my chance to get Mike Tyson. You know, Mike drop down and come up, you get knocked out. So I was like, okay, boo. So I said with my right uppercut, so, well, you really didn't have to explain to me that way, you know, because truth be told, all of them is thieves, liars, robbers, and murderers. And I wouldn't vote for none of them if you dumped them in a bag and dropped them at my feet right here, right now. She says, really, Deej? That's how you feel? I said, no, I ain't told you how I feel. I'm just telling you about that situation. You don't want to know how I feel. And she stood there. She had that, yeah, you're right look on her face. But I did it so smooth. I ain't condemned no white people, nobody. I condemned the whole system. And I have never in my life voted. Never. I have yet to meet a registered voter that has gotten anything out of the system that I ain't got. And I ain't never voted. Thus, the end of the game. Okay? I don't do merry-go-rounds. I don't do slingshots. I don't do roller coasters. I don't like nothing's going to shake me up. As a black man here in America, I get shook up enough every day. The hell I need to go to an amusement park for? It ain't funny, and I ain't amused. You get me? We got to learn how to call on Yahweh. Kanye West and Kyrie Irving, though they may think they meant well, and though they may think they did the right thing, you have proven to all of Black America that, number one, you don't know what you're doing. Number two, you're not the ones, because you didn't have the strength to stand by whatever it is that you said. If you're going to say what you mean what you say. We intend to serve Yahweh, and we intend to walk into that kingdom with the honor and dignity that Yahweh himself will bestow upon us as his people, because we intend to obey. If I can't say anything to encourage you, I will simply say this. Don't let anybody or anything take you off the path. You know you're on the path, and you know it's the right path. Don't back down for anything. Moms, dads, there may be some dark days. There may be some difficult times. You may be up late night praying and crying, pleading with Yahweh. Hold on. He is not going to forsake you. Parents, children, everybody. There'll be some rough days. Some of us are not going to always be here. You look up some that were in the chair for years. Sometime when it's all said and done, we're no longer there. We all got to go the way of the earth. It's not the end. Live your life like tomorrow is Judgment Day, and you ain't got to go to your grave fighting, trying to stay just a little longer. You will know that you have fought the good fight and that you have finished the faith, and you've kept it. That's all there is to it. These people are mad. They can't get back up. They can't hold on to the kingdom no more. They can't go into Yahweh's kingdom, and they are well aware of all of that. And that's what has them ranting and raging. Let them rage. Like a pot of water on the stove boiling. You know what happens if you leave it there long enough? It'll boil out. Let them boil out. The good part about it, ain't nothing going to dissipate that Yahweh can't find. They got to pay for their sin. It's like we got to pay for ours. If you're going to say something and step out on that world stage like that, then brothers, this intellectual, verbal masturbation has to stop. You hear me? I'm dead serious with what I'm saying. I ain't trying to be vulgar, but I'm just saying it. It has to stop. Talking just to be talking, just to hear yourself talk, just to stir some people, just to get the controversy started. Black men should be the quietest men in America. Don't even say nothing. Just be quiet. See if Yahweh don't move. Yisrael, I have nothing but love and honor for you all. Hope I didn't overdo it or overburn out your time. But again, this is not a topic that because it's trending, we bring it up. I bring it up because of the simplicity of the time and the seriousness of the error. This is a grave error. To keep arguing and picking a fight. Look, they ain't doing nothing to you right now. Leave them alone. We got a bigger battle coming ahead. We got something we got to ready ourselves for. And arguing with them serves as the primary distractor. We got to come together in fasting and in prayer and be ready as Yahweh moves. In conclusion, do me a favor. Start looking at what you got to get together. Start getting your stuff together. Start putting certain things aside that you know you're going to need. They're talking about an extremely rough winter this year. We can stick together and band together and help each other. But all at the same time, when you got opportunity to do better and you know better, you certainly well better do better for yourself. Do you hear me? That's how we got to do. Put certain stuff away. Get yourself plenty of batteries. Get the water and the different things that you need. Put certain types of foods away that you know you're going to need. Stuff that you know you got to eat down and diminish when the Pesach come around. You can do that without having to throw out a lot of other stuff because you got certain things that don't have the leavening agents or whatever. Know your timing. Know how Yahweh said you would be so blessed you'd have stuff in the store. You'd have to bring the old stuff to the front in order to store the new in the back and bring it. You'll have to know how to rotate things. They're planning on doing something to you. Before it's all over with, they're going to cut the grids out. In 2009, I worked on a committee here in Baltimore. They were studying the Baltimore gas and electric rates. They kept raising the rate, 26%, 52%, 72%, then 100% increase. They kept doing it. And we kept saying they're going to do something. And a friend of mine gave me a report from 2009 talking about the U.S. power grid and how they could knock the power grid out. This is what they were saying in 2009. Terrorists could knock the power grid out. There are 55,000 substations in the United States of America. All you need to do is knock out 9 of them, and you put the whole country in the dark. Well, having worked on that committee and fought BGE against raising rates on the elderly and all this other stuff, I learned some stuff. 3 of the 9 power reactors are on this East Coast, and it's called the PJM Interconnector. Hear what I'm saying? Philadelphia, Jersey, and Maryland. You hit that, you knock out everything up and down this East Coast. You can put people in the dark for years. If y'all would give you knowledge and understanding of it, then you got to get in line like Yusuf did for the children of Israel, as well as the Egyptian population. Get certain things together. Stop eating up all your food. You ain't got to have snacks 10 and 20 times a day. Feed yourselves properly and then go accordingly in power of prayer. Ready yourselves, because I'll say again, all of that funning and all the stuff. I'll be in Cancun in 2 weeks. I'll be this. This ain't the time for stuff like that now. Now's the time to ready your soul, batten down the hatches, pray like you ought to pray, and live like you ought to live. Because when it get too serious, there's nothing worse than having to double back and help somebody prepare that didn't prepare. When the danger hit and you're trying to clear yourself and prepare now, it's too late. So the destruction that's coming on this earth, it ain't here yet. But it's up on us in such ways. Y'all see all last week, all the stuff that was happening in different countries. It was about 6 or 7 different countries. And each country had a major event. And each country lost more than 100 people at a time. Remember in Taiwan, they was out celebrating Halloween. Like, now, how y'all get down there with de las de muertos? What that mean? Dead, dead? That what it mean? Y'all sure that's what it mean? Dead, dead, de las de la muertos. Dead, dead, right? But when a person get killed, they say he got murdered. Y'all thinking now. See how they tell you certain words mean certain things? Well, how we get murder victims, meaning they were literally killed, but then you got a holiday called De Los de Muertos, and all of a sudden, y'all don't see no connection? They all died in the alley being trampled to death. Another group, the bridge fell down, broke down, killed 156 of them. Another group, a boat or something capsized. All this was in the same week of that so-called Halloween. And I was like, I wonder if people are seeing this stuff happening around the world quickly, at least 1,000 deaths in a day or two, honoring Halloween. Yahweh feast days coming out, people get depressed. I can't make it. Yeah. So let me see if I got it straight. You get depressed when Yahweh's days roll around, and then the company have a company picnic on April Fool's Day. You the first one there. Wonder how you look. What day was it again? Anyway, Yisrael, the great tribulation is pushing down our neck. And a lot of people don't even see it. I've said before, and I'll say it again. There's one thing I like about them little angry, right-wing Christians. They be calling it out as best they can. They be mad, calling out the beast and talking about the system and all this stuff. And I sit back and laugh. Now I'm like, yeah, we talking about that in 89. Yeah, we talking about that. We talking, man, look how y'all done brung the past all them years ahead of everybody else. I said, we ain't even talking about that now. Because it's just that title. Let us stand. Abba Yahweh, we come before you today, simply thanking you for our lives, our health, and our strength, for all of the blessing that you have bestowed upon each and every one of us as your people, people that were in prison without due and just cause. We thank you, Father, for having freed some of your people. We thank you for having healed some that were sick, that were downtrodden. We thank you, Abba Yahweh, for your power of deliverance. Even before it is done, we trust that you will do it. We ask that you remember, even in the special requests, our prayer for little young Israelite children scattered throughout the face of this earth, many that have to contend with the evils of this world and other students that do not like them. We ask that you shield them and protect them from bullies. We ask, in fact, Abba Yahweh, that you bring down the power of wrath and destruction upon all the bullies, no matter how old or young they may be. We ask that you stop them dead in their tracks. Let not young bullies grow up to be old murderers. We ask, according to your will, Father Yahweh, to give our children both power and strength. Give them a prayerful heart and mind, as well as remove all manner of fear and self-doubt from them, that they may know that you are with them and that you love them. We ask that you be with the mothers, shield and protect them from the heartache and pain of loss of child due to any type of crime and criminal activity. Touch the hearts and minds of our young men. Shake the rebellious in the streets of America. Touch their minds, Abba Yahweh. Frighten them, whatsoever it may be, to turn them to you. Tear down their filthy evil ways. Stop our daughters in the spirit of harlotry. Let them not continue to run forth the way that they do. Rebuke every one that twerks and decides to shake their behind. We ask you, Father Yahweh, as the old men and women that condone it, that stand with it, embarrass them before the world. But those that are yours that turn unto you, please have mercy upon us, Father Yahweh. Have mercy in such a way that we turn unto you with a prayerful heart and mind. And we know that we got some dark, difficult, crying days ahead. But we ask, Abba Yahweh, in the midst of those terrible days that are yet to come, please don't ever leave us. Don't ever forsake us. Let us not lose faith in you, and let us not turn our backs and curse you in no way, but help us to walk up before you in a manner that's clean, honorable, and acceptable in your sight. And finally, Abba Yahweh, I beg of you in Yahshua's name, touch the hearts and the minds and the mouths of all your shepherds wherever they are. Give them an understanding of current events and prophecy and politics, that they may be able to call these things out to guide and direct your real and true people, as well as those that awaken, Abba Yahweh, both near and far, those that visit, first time, last time, whatever the case may be. Baruch your house, that there may be a spirit of welcoming, love, and honor here, so that all that will come unto us in your precious name will in no wise feel dismayed and rejected, but help us to love one another. In Yeshua's name we pray. Hallelujah. Happy Sabbath unto you all, Yisrael. Hallelujah.